Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cool Beans Podcast. I'm your host, Danny, and I'm here with Roger for now, but I will be also introducing Alex as soon as he gets in here as my. Oh, there he is. Okay, so we got Roger and we got Alex that just joined in. So we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
all three beans. Can we say beaners, dude, or would that be kind of racist, even though we're Mexicans?
Racist.
Racist?
I don't think
Racist.
that's racist.
It's like, hey man, black people can say the N word. We can call ourselves beaners. It's okay. That's we do eat beans. I just ate some beans yesterday.
I'm not
So
that big a fan of beans. I mean, if they're there, I'll eat it. But
what?
yeah, yeah, I'm all right.
Dude, for real, I don't know. I like tostadas with some beans, sour
Mm,
cream, some salsa, some fucking queso fresco.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I won't go out of my way to go get that, but I'll eat it. If it's there.
I don't know. It's a cheap and good.
Uh,
You know, in England, they like putting beans on toast. Like that's their thing.
that's their breakfast. That's
Yeah,
yeah, bullshit right
Yeah, I
there.
always thought that was weird.
it kind of right, but I'm like,
That's their tostada.
yeah, yeah. That's original tostada.
They ain't got corn. Oh fuck.
I always thought it was just jam. Like I would just hear about them putting jam, but I'm like, nah. Some
And
English dude.
scones.
They put some beans, mate. Some beans in my toast. So I was talking to Roger. I was asking him if he had heard about the Andrew Tate situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, before I start, I guess I should do a sound check. Do I sound good? Can you guys hear me? Am I coming in
Yeah,
clear? All right, cool. Oh shit, we lost you for a second, Alex.
Yeah, I know. So sound check. Yep.
Sound check, sound check. Do I sound good?
I'm set.
Yeah. Hear everybody good?
All right, sweet. Cause like, and I was telling Roger, I'm like, I think I was too close to the mic on like the previous recording because you could hear my fat ass like breathing into the mic and shit. But I think I was just too close, dude. So I just put it like a few inches away from my face and it sounds better now.
Yeah. I'm glad I can't hear mine.
So yeah, so Roger, you told me so yeah, you have heard of Andrew Tate. You did some research on that dude. Um, Alex and I have been doing some research on it, following up on it. What do you think, Roger? Like, if you had to guess, if you had to put money on it, do you think he's guilty or he's innocent? Are they just setting him
I
up?
think he's totally guilty.
Really? So why
I
do you think
think,
he's guilty?
dude, I think a lot of these fucking like rich people, like they're guilty. It's like it just gets covered up, and like we just never hear about it. But a lot of them be doing some fucked up shit, dude.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex?
I think after some of those videos, like two I sent you this morning, just rewatching them and re-listening to them. I don't know, man. That is really really suspicious. I saw this one video where they were talking about how Andrew Tate, when he was uh, put in the back of that squad car, he kind of leaned forward and he was like smiling and laughing with those SWAT guys. And then he leaned back and he did the Illuminati symbol. Sorry, my mouth's stuck together today. He did the Illuminati symbol, so it's like a triangle with his fingers, and then he put it down.
Oh, like
And then I
saying
saw
like saying fuck the Illuminati, like he threw it down.
no, I don't know. That's what's weird, right? Because it's either he's doing all this for the Illuminati, or or something that he's just kind of like warning people about. Like this is who is doing this. I don't know. It's just very suspicious to me. And why I say that is because there was a previous incident where I guess he was kicked off a show because of this, some kind of rape allegation or something like that. So he was kicked off the show. And even that seemed kind of suspicious because listening to that girl on Vice tell her story about, I'm sorry, but when she said that her and Andrew Tate, like, of course, like she had like 3 champagne bottles she was talking about and shit like that. So she was drunk and they were just like messing around. And then she's like, all of a sudden, he just punches me in the arm. I started laughing. I thought that was the funniest shit I've ever heard. The way she said it, it's bullshit. I think I don't know. I don't kind of believe her. I think she's bullshitting. I mean, because the cops didn't press any charges against Andrew Tate because they went to his they went to those girls' phones and they saw text messages supposedly about how they were going to lie about Andrew, and then it was something about how these officers actually listened to a voicemail, and one of the girls said, the one that was accusing Andrew Tate at the time, she said, "Do you think we should tell them that there was alcohol involved?" And like that's like why? Well, that's very weird. Why wouldn't you mention it in the first place? You know, why is that something you would kind of leave out? It's like you were fucking drunk. Maybe you fucking did something. Maybe you tripped, fucking hit him on the face or something, and he kind of like, I don't know, instinct reaction. He is a kickboxer. I mean, he fucking punched her in the arm or something. I don't see that happening. That's kind of weird too, because my wife scares me all the time walking around the corner in the hallway. And I told her one day I'm gonna fucking punch you, and she just laughs about it. And I mean, I haven't punched her, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, so that's very weird to me. I just think it's a setup.
Yeah, yeah, because I heard some fuckery too. Like I saw like the girl. I mean, she had sex with him, and then
She
like
said, "Yeah, they boned after." Like,
and
what the fuck is that?
yeah, and then like he's obviously having sex with other chicks. You know, it doesn't seem like the monogamous type, monogamous type. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. And his version was like this chick just got jealous. So I know how women are, dude. Like when you're fucking around with other women and maybe you think you're the only one, you'll say crazy shit. Like I've had friends accused of like false rape accusations, and not to mention like one of his exes already came out and said that they offered her, whoever they are, they offered her like $50,000 to say that he was
Yeah,
a scumbag. So I'm just like, man, there's too many people that hate on that dude that
yeah.
might have connections that might want to take him down. You know what I'm saying? Like I know
Well,
we talked about how like there is a push from the shadowy government, whoever it is, feminism, I don't know, whoever it is, if it's a combination of everything, where like, I really do think, I believe personally, like they're trying to feminize men. They're trying to feminize like young boys. They're trying to like spread that shit all across the globe. You know, they're trying to pretty much take away like masculinity, you know? And I think a lot of these men channels, like right now, Andrew Tate's like at the top of it, right? I think they kind of want to make an example of that dude. Not saying that it's not possible that he could be guilty. Like, if he's guilty, he's fucking guilty. If there's hard evidence, but
oh sure, yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, I can sway that way too. Because
the
I mean, just remember last week, I was kind of like against this. I actually thought this could be possible. And this week, just looking at some new shit, I don't know. I flip flop.
yeah, and I'm willing to change my mind. You know, if some shit surfaces that tells me without a doubt that he's guilty. But my biggest thing is like, if he was guilty, like why would they need to hold him in prison? You know what I mean? Like if he's guilty, if they have shit on him, wouldn't he just be in prison? You know what I mean? Like wouldn't they just go to court, present the evidence, have these girls on the on the witness stand or however they do it in Romania, and
Yeah.
just lock them up?
Nah, it's all fucking. It's gotta be a show, bro. You can't just be like, oh, okay, let's do it. It's like that's why people just sit in prison forever or in jail. I think.
I mean, they were saying that this trial could last for years,
Is that what they
3 years
said?
at least. Yeah, yeah. That one on that one video, I think I sent you. They were talking to one of the big attorneys in Romania. That's I think going about this case, and he was talking about the judge and everything, and pretty much saying that like he's not really in jail. He's more of in a detention, and that's just because he made it. Andrew Tate and his brother made it known that they had like these passports, and so they were like pretty much like flight risk, like here in America. So they didn't want them leaving because of that reason. And I think there was another reason he stated. I don't
Yeah,
remember it.
the other reason was like he didn't want him out there coercing these chicks.
Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't want to muscling them.
So I totally get it, but it's just, man, like
Right.
it's I
The
do
11 cars seized though. That's again. I mean, supposedly a corrupt nation. I don't know much about it, but they take 11 of his cars and they're like, "Is that true? You guys do that to pay for the whole thing?" And they're like, "No, no, no. It's just in case he is guilty, then we could pay some of the victims, and then maybe some of the people, everyone involved." It's funny how he says some and then everyone involved. So pretty much, yeah, pay for the whole fucking thing.
actually that's like a really good it's not a bad system if you want to like pay, if you're a poor country like Romania and you have to pay the victims. But I think
Hmm.
they have shit like that in fucking here in Chicago and the United States in general. Like Roger, don't you remember? Like I think you told me one time like you got caught with like I don't know, it wasn't even a gram. It might have been like a gram or less of weed. Like the cops found weed in your car, so they took your car. Like I've heard about that shit where like
Oh,
if they find
fuck.
drugs in your house or any of your possessions, they're legally allowed to take your shit. And like all that
Yeah,
money.
dude. And then it's fucked up because it's like you don't even just gotta pay the toll fee and everything. You just gotta go to the police station. I think it was like $500 when I did it,
God
just to get
damn.
a piece of paper to take it to the fucking impound to get your car out. Just $500 just to get this piece of paper.
You see how they make
That's
money?
fucking-
You
Yeah,
s-
dude.
Fucking rapist, dude. That's the real rapist right there.
Yeah, dude. That's straight up highway robbery right there.
Um,
Fucking fuzz.
another thing, my whole little conspiracy brain, my little conspiracy peanut that I thought was also weird. Are you guys aware of some like Freemason stuff, like symbols and numbers? Like 33 is like the highest ranking
Yeah,
Freemason
33
number.
degrees. Yeah, and
33 degrees. Thank you.
wasn't his dad like first of all, his dad's a Freemason and I had read somewhere that he might have been part of the CIA too.
Whoa, his dad's a Freemason?
That's what I heard. His dad's
That's
a
it.
Freemason. He worked for the CIA, and he's like one of the world's best like chess players. I don't know if he still plays chess, if he's retired, but at one point, I do think he was like top, like a genius in chess.
So check this out. This is why it's strange you say that. So, he makes it known that he had like what, 33 cars. That's very odd. Why that specific number? Why not 36? Why not 32? It's like 33 cars. What do they confiscate? 11 cars. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is 11 divided by,
You
or I mean,
math,
or is yeah, I mean, some kind of
subtract.
math involved. Yeah, subtract. What, 11 times 3 or something like that?
So you're saying like 33 minus 11?
Yeah, I don't know math, man. But anyways, my bad. I should have brought that number up. But anyways, I mean,
It'd
like,
be
just it's
22.
33.
22.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
33
okay.
minus 11 is 22, right?
Oh, my bad. What I meant was 33 divided by 3 is 11.
Oh
So I'm just
yeah,
saying how
yeah.
it's very how all these, the numbers just tie in. Also, I just think that's very strange.
It might be like some good luck shit that he if he's like if his dad was a Freemason and he brought him up in that bullshit, he's probably like, son, what you want to do is you want to bang 33 hoes,
Yeah.
you want to own 33 watches, you want like you know what I mean, just you want to wake up at 3 a.m. in 33 minutes, 3:33, like all that shit. You want to
It's just
come, you
embedded.
want to have sex for 3 minutes and 33 or 3 hours and 30. I don't know, dude. But I don't know. It's just like everybody that knows him says like I'm not buying it. He was a good dude. You know, I've known him for years or whatever. But and it's just the whole fucking like Greta, like the whole argument he got with that one chick. Like, and then the day after this happens, like I don't know. It just seems like what the fuck, man? Is
Very
life like
suspicious.
if this was like a movie, right? Like if I wrote this shit down, people be like, "Oh, this is a good movie, Danny." So he gets in an argument with this one chick. She's an environmentalist, and then he goes to jail, and then like this shit sounds like some James Bond shit. I don't know. It's just very fucking weird. I'm not saying he's like he could be a scumbag. He could be like a not a very nice person, but he could even be a rapist for all I know. I mean, I thought Bill Cosby was a nice person until fucking 30 women came out and said that he fucking drugged them. But
Tricked all of us.
fucking Jello pudding pops and shit. He had
I
them.
I bought into those pudding pops. Goddamn it!
Did. I'll never look at them the same way again.
I mean, I'll still buy them. If they're around, I'll still buy it. Not the same.
Oh, fucking shit, man. So, yeah, so I don't know. So as far as Andrew Tate goes, I guess I'll just have to wait and see. But I haven't heard anything new. That's about it. I mean, it's kind of like
Trial starts this week.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm sure by next Sunday we'll have plenty to talk about. See what they bring out there for everyone to see.
Interesting. And in other news, have you heard anything else? Any other crazy fucking rumors online? Anything I should know about going on in the world?
You hear about that Idaho killer?
Dude, I was just listening to that.
Holy shit, man! I don't think he did it. You think he did it, Roger?
I don't even know what's going on. I mean, do you want to talk about it? Because, like, dude, I just heard that didn't he kill like 4 people or something?
So supposedly this guy, Michael Kohnberg, they're suspecting him of murdering 4 college campus kids. So it's a big story, mainly because for like over a month and a half, these cops had pretty much no lead. All right, they have surveillance cameras, they had all these things at their disposal, and they could not find anyone who would have been around, who these girls knew. There was 3 girls and one guy dead. It was a boyfriend of one of the girls. The whole thing why it's very strange is because sometime in the night, this guy, some guy, crawls into their house, bypasses one of the roommates, because there's 6 people total in this house, and only 4 get killed. The killer runs into one of the roommates, tells them that it's okay, they'll take care of it or something, or go back to bed or something like that. And this girl's like freaked out. She goes into her room and she locks the door. Next, she hears ruffling around, like wrestling and stuff like that, and then it goes quiet. Then you hear, like, I guess she hears like a dog barking, and then she hears the owner of the dog, one of the girls, say, "Oh, I think somebody's here." And then you don't hear anything for a while. Then in the morning, these girls, one of the roommates that's alive, she goes to wake up one of her roommates, and notices, I guess, blood, and freaks out and grabs one of the other roommates who's the survivor as well, and they call the police, and then all that blows up. The whole thing why it's strange is just because of how brutal. It's not so much strange, but how, like, why there's so much coverage on this is because how savage these attacks were. Like, this dude brutally fucked them up with like a big knife. They said like a Rambo style knife. That's what they're assuming.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Cool,
and
they're butchered him.
Butchered the shit out of him, man. And like, there's some one of the victims, I don't know who, had defensive wounds. So these people, so whoever he was fucking up, they were trying to fight back, and yeah, man, they didn't make it. So it was pretty brutal, and that's why there's this whole thing about it. So now, cut to a month and a half of like no leads, no nothing. They get this guy, and he is kind of, all right. I mean, he is kind of suspicious in a way, because one of the things is he goes to the school, right? He goes to the school where these girls go to. He teaches there.
Uh-huh.
He is a criminologist. He's going there for his PhD for the criminal justice system. So, and I guess like 8 months back, he put up a forum in Reddit, asking pretty much like criminals, like, what made you like start a plan, pretty much, like if you were stalking somebody and you saw a girl, and like what what made you, or what were you thinking, to go forward with that plan, to just like go right into it, or what made you go away from it? You know, was there someone around? Were there dogs? Pretty much asking very like, you know, kind of weird questions. But I guess if you're studying that kind of stuff, it's not so strange. You know, if he's writing for a paper, or if he's doing his own kind of on time, off school kind of hours thing, studies into this stuff, because he seems like he's interested in it.
Right.
I guess he had contact with the woman who interviewed the BTK killer, Dennis Rader. And so, I mean, he had contact with her. Who knows if he had contact with him, by writing to each other and stuff. Again, that's not too strange, because a lot of people do that.
Think he was asking for tips? Like, hey, dog, how do I not get caught?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Dennis Rader is one of the most notorious.
Help a fellow serial killer out.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, because he's one of the most notorious and like infamous serial killers who got away with the brutal killings he did for years. I mean, decades.
So like,
whoops.
So I'm looking at this right now.
Returned to campus in Moscow, Idaho.
I'm trying to turn this down. My bad.
It looks like was it one? So it's one dude and 3 girls that he killed.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Not to sound like an asshole and be inappropriate, but one of these girls that I'm looking at her here is fine as fuck, son. She's ridiculous.
Well, and another thing, that's what's funny about it to me. This is my thing. Of course, America cares about 4 white, beautiful people in Idaho.
Absolutely. Idaho.
Of course, this shit's fucking everywhere.
He looks kind of like a psychopath. Like, if I would like look at him and be like, yep, that guy's got serial killer vibes like a motherfucker.
This is what's crazy for me, right, to think about. Is because if this guy is guilty about it, then he is the Ted Bundy of our time. You understand? Because Ted Bundy did the exact same. He did something just like this in Florida, way more, I think, brutal than this guy did. And he took out way more. Bundy took out way more people and got away with it and used his charm and all this stuff. This guy is no different. He was using his charm. He got arrested in Pennsylvania, not in Idaho. He got arrested in Pennsylvania, where he was hiding out at his parents' house. Supposedly police were surveilling him, and he was taking out trash and dumping it in neighbors' trash bins with surgical gloves on.
Yeah,
I don't know. But this is what they say. They haven't shown anybody any pictures or surveillance pictures that they did this. So we're waiting for the trial to see that, because I'm not convinced. Well, I'm not convinced this guy is the one who did it.
Well, I think I'm like, because I haven't done any research about this like you have, but so help me understand, because I'm here, I'm looking at shit that says survivor Dylan Mortensen.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so by survivor, do they mean like this dude tried to kill her and she survived? I mean, doesn't that kind of
no? No, she was just in the house.
Oh, and didn't get.
He didn't take, and this killer did it. That's what people were saying was strange. Like, he walked past one of the roommates in the house. Why didn't he kill her? And they're saying, well, it's either because he didn't see her, or he just didn't. She wasn't his target. And then someone else retardedly said that, well, maybe he was afraid that they were gonna. If he killed this person, it'd be too much, and they'd be onto him. And I'm like, are you fucking retarded? He just killed 4 people upstairs. One more murder is not gonna fucking make it or break it.
But like, did she say like he didn't see me? Like, they didn't make eye contact. They didn't.
They don't know yet. They have no idea. Like, that's what's part of the fuckery is what I'm talking about. They're not really being clear about this.
Well, because I could see that. Like, let's say he did it, and like if his adrenaline rush is going, and he's like, man, I just did this. Like,
it's dark.
Yeah, if he didn't hear her, if she was just quiet and didn't make a noise, maybe she just got lucky like that, and he just didn't realize that she was in the same place at the same time.
Yeah,
she could have just got lucky, but damn, what the fuck is it? Is this like the supermodel house? Like, all these people are hot as fuck. Like,
they're beautiful people.
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude? I gotta go to Idaho. I'll probably get shot though. I don't think they like Mexicans down there. I should probably stay away.
I don't know. I don't know if you make it.
But damn, dude. So this is fucking crazy, isn't it? Okay, like, is it just me or? I mean, because everybody makes fun of us at this point. Like people from Europe, people from Asia, Latin America, even Latin America, it's got its problems, right? But like, what the fuck, like, if you're a third world country, you can at least make that excuse, like, hey, it's a third world country. Of course, we got problems with like cartels and shit like that. But it's like, what's the United States' excuse, right? Like, there are so many fucking school shootings. There are so many serial killers, like more than any other place in the world. Like, what the fuck is up with America, dude? It's like you're
Baskin Robbins on every corner.
yeah, like it's like fucking you got like fucking Starbucks level fucking serial killers in every corner. Like Europe has a shitload of white people, but you never hear about this kind of shit.
Surprisingly, you'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of fuckery. There's like a lot of crazy killers that came from Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the vampire Dusseldorf in Germany.
Jack the
He would
Ripper.
lure, Jack the Ripper.
Old school.
Got away with it.
Yeah, but like but I don't hear like school shootings and shit like that in Europe.
School shootings, yeah, you don't hear that for sure. Well, there's that one in Russia that happened not too long ago. I think it was like a month or two ago.
Yeah, like once every
And that
year.
was strange. That was very strange to hear about. But other than that, you're right.
Yeah, because my thing is just like, okay, like America claims to be, top notch, first world nation, the richest country in the world, best and brightest, all this shit. But I'm like, dude, what is this I can't speak today. Propensity with like there's so much violence here in the US. Like, what is it? Is it too many cars on the road? Is it road rage? Is it politics? Is it fucking radio waves affecting our brains? Like, why the fuck is it so violent in this first world country where supposedly everything, where we're like pampered, where we're very privileged? Like, why is this so fucking crazy? Cop killings? Are you kidding me? Don't even get me started on fucking police officers. And like, get on the ground, 16 shots, 16, you get a warning clip. You get an entire warning clip. Like, we're going to give you a warning that's called 16 shots to your chest. That's your warning.
I think it has a lot to do with our gun laws. I mean, they say we have one of the most amount of guns fucking per person.
Yep. Very true.
You think that's what it is? But what did this guy do though? Did this guy like shoot these people, or was it with a knife? Because you said it was with a knife, right? So
It was a knife. Oh, all with a knife.
Okay, so that's like I get the gun law thing, but I'm like, but is it more of like a mental thing? Because if you want to kill some people, you're still gonna kill some people, even if you don't have a gun, right? I mean, this guy killed fucking 4.
And it could be because we're a melting pot. This nation's a melting pot. Every mix of races next doors to each other. And if you go to Germany, what do you see? It's all white German people. If you go to
I thought about that too, but like again, these are just white people. You know what I mean? This is just white on white crime and shit. Like
yeah. You also got to think about like the landscape and like the amount of people that we have compared to like Germany and Britain. It's like Britain's probably the size of like Illinois.
That's true.
So
See that makes sense to me. Like that we're just overpopulated like a motherfucker. To me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like more. Yeah,
there's too much of us.
You think that's what it is?
Could be.
Not because like you're comparing like the United States to like England or France. Like you're gonna compare like England to all of like Europe, like all of Africa. I mean, technically Africa probably has a lot worse problems than we have.
Dude, there's some horrid shit coming out of Africa. Like Congo guys, they just how many like women are raped a day by a Congo, militia. They recruit kids and shit like that. It's fucking horrific
out there, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's
trafficking,
and that's their own people. That's what what I'm saying. That's their own people. They're not doing it to whites or Mexicans. They're doing it to their own fucking people.
Yeah, but like, the thing with Africa is like again, right? Third world country. Lack of resources, lack of education, like a bunch of other shit. Like, I just always get amazed when it's like white people, they have everything, they're rich, they're wealthy, everything's good. It's like your parents took you to Disney World and you just shanked like 4 people. Like, why?
And so that's interesting you say that is because this guy, the house that he was locked up in, his parents' house, it was a gated community. You know what I'm saying? This guy's 28 and he's already, I think he has his PhD or he's about to get his PhD. So again, like all those years in school, all that time. I mean, I don't know if his parents paid for it or not. Supposedly they don't have money for a private lawyer, so he's being represented by his by the state's defense over there in Idaho because he was transferred over. He was willing
He's
too.
totally going to jail. He's got public defender.
But it could be just a good tactic. You know what I'm saying? Because if you spring money for a really good lawyer, to me that kind of throws that you're kind of might be hiding something. So you really want to try to get off. This guy is so confident that he's gonna be like extra exonerated. I mean, he even said
like another to make a murderer or whatever. From that
yes, yeah. Because some of the evidence they're putting out there just doesn't, I think it doesn't cause like a certain doubt. For sure. Like one of the things that they're going to be throwing in the case is that his cell phone pinged all around the right times around the house of the murder was in. So his phone pinged all around within like a 1 mile radius. They said it was turned off at a certain time and pretty much like put on airplane mode or turned off. And then it was turned back on not too long after these murders were occurring. But the whole thing about that is, cell phone towers, I guess they have the ability to ping a phone within a 25-mile radius. And sometimes that shit's not accurate. So, like, sorry, if I was on that jury, that's not good enough for me. I mean, you guys could just, me and Christina could be driving along when we go to see my brother in Wisconsin, and that's a 5-hour trip. If we pass a small town, and just so happens a murder is being committed there at the time, and then our phones were just pinged right there too. I mean, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not reasonable doubt enough for me. That's one of the things we're going to try to throw out there. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though too. Like, I've always wondered this. Let's say a high profile case, because this would be considered a high profile case, right? There's
Yep.
3 beautiful supermodel white girls from Idaho, one supermodel fucking outstanding white boy citizen, right?
Right.
A bunch of sad white people and shit with money.
And the 2 roommates are like not bad looking either. They're also in that house too. Remember?
Yeah,
so it's like the whole thing.
All we need now is for one of these kids to be related to like a Rothschild or like some governor, some very important person, right, in the food chain, had the higher ups and shit. So, do you think sometimes like there's a lot of pressure on cops where they're like, "Shit, Johnny, like I don't know, Bill. I can't find any evidence. I have no fucking clue who this is." The sheriff
and they're getting pressure.
Right? He's like, the sheriff is telling me he's gonna fire my ass if I don't fucking find the killer. He was there at the kid's fucking birthday party last week or some shit. Do you ever think like all that pressure makes them start sweating? Where they're like, I don't know. Who's their roommate? Do they know anybody? Oh, what about this schmuck right here? This guy looks like a serial killer if I've ever seen one. Yeah, let's pin it on this guy.
I mean, he's got all the right, background for it. I mean, if they were gonna pin something on this guy, I mean, like this at least. I mean, look at his background. It's amazing. It matches.
Fuck his background. Just look at his eyes.
And dude, now that you mentioned the roommates, though, wasn't there like 2, 3 roommates that like were there when it all happened, like, and they heard like screaming, but they never called anybody?
Yep, 2 of them.
And now that fucked up, dude. I was just like, how are you gonna hear like somebody screaming for their life, and not at least pop your head out and be like, "Are you all right?"
Bro, not even call the cops?
Dude, what if they were all in on it? What if it was just more than one?
That's why it's very fucking weird, man. It just does not make sense.
They're starting them up, or like,
well, what if they're like, what if it's like even deeper than that? What if they're all in a cult? They're like, all right, now we're gonna fucking kill these people, and we're all gonna keep our mouth shut.
What happened if those people knew a secret, and then we're like, yeah, we just gotta like quiet them all down, and then they just fucking blackmail the teacher.
Like maybe they caught him like wearing like a furry outfit. And they're like, bitch, if you tell anybody, I'll fucking kill you. Don't you dare tell anybody that I'm a fucking furry. How dare you?
Oh, okay. So right here, I'm reading. Says the roommate identified in the document as DM said she heard crying in the house that morning and a male voice say, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." And then DM, the roommate, said that she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. She described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built, with bushy eyebrows. And she was frozen in shock when he walked past her.
That sounds. Roger, try to.
But if you're
Try
like
to.
frozen in shock, like what if the second you like snap out of it, be like, I'm gonna call the cops, or it's either you know who the person is, but I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I know what's gonna happen.
Right. But again, if one of the roommates, I think, ran into the room, or how do you not run into your fucking room, lock the door, and then call the cops right away? Why do they wait so long in the morning until like it's light out to fucking call the cops?
Yeah,
I think it was 11 a.m.
Yeah,
Seems sus. It's very suspect.
I don't know. I think they know who it is, but it's like probably somebody that's like, yeah, if I snitch, I know I'm gonna die.
Could be, man, because they
Or
want to
like
know.
they know my family type of status.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Those families seem to come from those kids seem to come from really well off families.
God damn, dude. That's fucking crazy.
So, I mean, the FBI got involved. I mean, that's how they were, able to get more like backup. But I mean, think about it. Like you said, Dan, like, once the FBI gets involved, how much pressure do you think is probably on you to fucking find somebody and just get this shit over with?
Yeah, I have like on a much lesser scale, on a much like less severe scale. I had a buddy who his car, right? Like I don't know what he did. I forget. I don't know if he. I forget what the fuck he did. Like if he sold it on the black market or he left it in another car. I don't know what the fuck. Something with his car where he just reported it missing or stolen, and they reimbursed him with a new car, and they caught the guy, quote unquote. I don't fucking know, something like that. Where I'm like, but wait a minute, but the car was like never stolen. He's like, yeah, but somebody paid for it. I don't know, something like, yeah, something.
Wait,
really,
what?
Something really fucked up. Where like, I'm probably butchering the story, but I think like something where something got stolen. I don't know if he wanted to just get reimbursed, and then like the cops. So he was making it up. He basically made up a crime.
Okay.
Got reimbursed.
And they arrested an innocent.
Yeah, and they arrested an innocent dude. And I'm just like, okay, so the law system is definitely like it's just so fucked up. Like, how many people are sitting in jail, just fucking innocent and shit? Like, this crime never even happened. Like, I don't know.
Dude, that's what's fucked up about the bail bonds. Like, if you're broke, even if you're innocent, you're stuck doing there. And a lot of times you end up having to break the law just being there just to protect yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Just a rebob. It's pretty fucked up, dude. I don't know. I have no help. I have no help. No hope in our judicial system. But but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I've speculated and said as much as I could about this case. Like, who the fuck knows? All I know is, goddamn, these girls are hot. These girls are fucking hot, and it makes me very sad that no one will ever get to wife up these girls because they're so pretty. But
well, maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe he tried going after one of them, saying, "Hey, what's up? Can I get your number?" She laughed at him, and he's like, "All right, bitch, wait."
Some Elliot Rodger shit. Do you remember that guy, Elliot
Who's
Rodger?
that?
He was a virgin. He was a virgin dude.
Oh,
he fucking killed his roommates, who like got laid and he was jealous of, and then went around specifically looking for blonde haired, blue eyed chicks, because I guess that was his favorite, and he was just pissed off that they rejected him. He had a YouTube channel and everything. You can still find his YouTube videos of him talking about it, how he's gonna go on a shooting spree, and then he shot himself. Like once the cops cornered him and shit, he was driving. Oh, and what was crazy about that case is, the Hunger Games, the director or the producer of the Hunger Games, that was his dad. He was the director.
What?
Shit.
Yeah.
Didn't know
I
that.
know that one.
Shit. Yeah, man. That guy was fucking nuts. I checked out his YouTube channel and everything. You know what the worst part about it? I mean, granted, he was neurodivergent. I don't know if he had Asperger's or some shit. He definitely was on the spectrum.
Oh, okay.
But if you look at pictures of him, if you type in Elliot Roger on Google Image, not a bad looking dude. Actually, like pretty good looking.
Well, I've seen videos of him, so I didn't know that about him. But that also explains what it answers my next question was going to be, why didn't he just, buy some pussy? And here he is. He probably has standards or morals. And because usually guys like that do. They're kind of fidgety and shit like that.
Dude, if I read his entire, I don't know what you call it, his manifesto, I guess.
Yeah.
Where he's talking about how, like, because his dad was like an English dude that came from British aristocracy. So he was like literally talking about that. His mom was Asian though. So he was half Asian, half white boy. And he talked about like wanting to have blonde hair. And like how he was jealous of this one black dude who would come over and talk to his roommates. How he told him like how he's banging this white chick and he's like, I don't believe you. And then he went to his room and cried. He went to his room and cried because this black dude was like banging white girls and he wasn't. And he wrote out like, he's descended from slaves. I'm descended from British aristocracy. This is not fair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, he was like that. See, that to me is a definition of an incel. Just some fucking warped, fucked up, like very, like privileged fucking idiot that just doesn't get it. Does not fucking understand that, like, no one cares, dude. No one cares that you came from British aristocracy. You fucking half a retard. No one cares. It's just so fucking funny to me. Oh, man. Can I tell you, just to switch topics and shit, because I could go on all day about white boys and being serial killers, but it is what it is. I had a job interview yesterday because I don't know if I told you, but I'm looking for. I still got some funds in my bank account, but I'm like, man, I don't want to like run out of money. I need to start looking for a job while I build up my client list for websites and shit.
All right. So
I went on Indeed, I went on LinkedIn, I even looked at like Craigslist and shit. Because believe it or not, a lot of people like they'll fucking frown on Craigslist. But I found some of the best jobs I've found, funny enough, have been on Craigslist. But anyways, I digress. I went on this job interview. I'm not going to mention the name of the company because I don't want to get sued. But right away, my spidey sense was tingling. I'm like, because it was a Zoom call. Like, all right, Danny. He's like, sounds good. I looked at your resume. It looks good. Let's get on that Zoom call on Saturday, and we'll tell you more about the business. I'm like, all right, cool. So I opened up the Zoom link, and there's like 15 people, right? And immediately, like, the guy starts talking about what it is and what we do, and I'm just like, like when you're getting talked to by a dude, and it sounds like a pyramid scheme, and you know it's a pyramid scheme, and you're like, is this job just bullshit? Like in back of your head, and then I'm looking at the number of people on the Zoom call. It starts off at 15, and then it slowly starts dropping to 14, 13, 12, 11. And by the time you know it, where I'm thinking about like checking out, it's already down to like single digits. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? So like, and then like when I left was when he was like, right when he got to the point where like, yeah, so for your training, so we will charge you to be trained, but then once we get your money for us training you, then after that it's all commission. So you sell some insurance. It was insurance and shit, life insurance. He's like, you sell insurance, so like you sell $1,000 worth of life insurance, and you get the 500. So you sell 1,000 to this one old lady or gentleman or whoever it is, and then out of the 1,000 you made from that guy, you get to keep half, and you get to make your own hours and blah blah blah. And I'm just like,
that's a total.
no shit. But the problem is it's legal. because I looked up the company and immediately like a bunch of bad reviews came up. A bunch of former employees who were like, "Yeah, it's not illegal. They're just within the confines of it being
In the
legal."
gray area.
Yeah, in that gray area where it's legal, they can't get in trouble, but it's very shady practice. So right away, I'm just like, first of all, suck my dick. I'm not gonna pay you to fucking train me. Second of all, like just suck my dick. No, I'm not doing it. So I just went leave. I just clicked on a button that says leave the Zoom call, and then after that, it was probably like 5 dummies that were left, and who knows how many. Like, I'm just like, don't waste my time with this bullshit, dude. I hate fucking looking for a job, dude. I hate the entire fucking process. And then like even before that, when I was applying, like there's easy apply, right? Where you just put in my name, put in my fucking number or my email, and I just upload my fucking resume. Every time they ask me for a cover letter, I say suck my dick. It says optional. It always says optional. I never fucking give them a cover letter. I probably should make one, but it's like, how much shit do you need, dude? Here's my resume. Here's my skills. Either give me this job or don't fucking
want to hire
call
me or not.
Yeah, and then what I hate is like when you turn it in, and then there's like a second step where it's like we need you to answer the questions. Where they ask you questions is like,
Oh, dude, I hate those questions.
oh my god, when they're like, just type in A or B, strongly agree or strongly disagree. If you saw Jimmy taking $5 from the register, what would you do? Would you A, report it to your manager, B, tell him not to do it, but let him get away with it the first time? And I'm just like, what is this, man? Like, just stop with these
I'm
stupid.
like, bitch, I'm gonna look away, but I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah, no shit. It's like what? Like, oh my god, dude. It's one of those where they try to.
I'm telling Jimmy tomorrow's my day.
Oh my god, dude. I can't. It's like, oh, when
Hey,
you're,
you gotta give it to me, right?
dude. Some of these questions, man. It's like when you're faced with a difficult task, do you grin and bear it and power through? Do you A, tell your manager this is too hard and ask them to explain it? It's like, what are you looking for, bitch? Are you looking for to just see if I'm just gonna be a good old employee and just take it up the ass? Like, what do you want me to answer? It's like, just give me the fucking job or tell. Like, I don't even bother now, dude. Now I did it for like the first day because you know how you forget. Like, you start working at a job, 2 years might go by, maybe 4 years, and then you're back at it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot all about this bullshit. Now I'm just like easy apply, like work from home, remote. Like if I get one of those pop-ups that says, okay, you finished the first half. Now here comes the second half. Make at least 15 minutes to finish the questionnaire. I'm like, fuck you. I check out. I fucking check out. I'm like, I just hate the fucking process of looking for a job, dude. Honestly, I might even like, because right now I'm looking for remote work, but if it takes too long, because the nice thing about warehouse jobs is they hire you right away. Like, that's the thing about warehouse jobs is they suck. It's manual labor, but at least it's like, hey, you know how to drive a forklift? Yes, I know how to drive a fucking forklift. What kind? All of them. All of them. I've driven every fucking kind, including the fucking crane. Do I have the job? Yes or not? When can you start, Danny? Tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's that easy with warehouse jobs, but anytime it's like an office job or like something technical, there's always these and dude, you know what I noticed for the first time? And dude, I'm almost 40, dude. Like, I'm 38. I just turned 38. And 2 years from now I'll be 40. This is the first time I can remember where when I'm filling out the application, now they have this entire no kidding, dude, no lie. It had like 9 different options where it says, how would you like to be referred? Him, her, they, she, he, like.
You put they, right?
I put other. I just put other just to be funny, just to be a fucking smartass. Like, what is that shit, dude? Are they trying to like be inclusive? Are they just afraid of getting sued? Like, who gives a fuck? I remember when it was just she or where it was just male, female, and sometimes they gave you other, but usually, or I prefer not to say. The same thing they would do with like race, right? So they prefer not to say. Oh, it's just so weird, dude. Everything has gotten so weird in America. Like, I don't know, man. Like, am I making a big deal out of it, or is it just fucking? Am I getting old?
I think you're expressing the same as a lot of people I hear. Anyways, my company is very like open to all that stuff. So like in April or something like that, whenever or June, whenever like Pride Month is. I mean, they hang a huge flag, rainbow flag, and stuff like that. They put a chalkboard up and write down on a piece of paper what diversity is to you, or inclusion is to you, or what queers are to you. I don't know. what fags are. It's just a bunch of stuff. It's just hilarious because people get so upset about it, and I'm over here just like eating my tacos, just like whatever. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. You suck dick, great. Like it doesn't matter to me. But my company's so involved in that stuff. I mean, it's funny. I get a kick out of watching these people that like write on their we on our corporate web like personal website. It has like our own version of like Twitter. So people in our company post like what they their accomplishments or whatever their bullshit is.
Roger, try to mute your mic, Roger, because sometimes there's like background noise.
And then so like so that happens, and I forgot where I was going with that. My bad.
No, you were just basically saying how like I don't give a fuck. I really don't mind, but
yeah. And these people were like, I've been working at this company for 11 years. Someone posted, and I'm so when I walked in and the building and I saw the pride flag hung, I felt really welcomed and stuff like that. And it's like, did you really? You out of the 11 years you've been here, you didn't feel welcome once, but were they paying that fucking flag up? Now you feel welcome.
It's like, dude, as long as I don't see a swastika being hung up or some cross burning in the front lawn, I'm all right, man. I feel welcomed. It's all good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like I mean, you've been here for 11 years, Nancy, and you didn't get shit talked out of the job. No one fucking, said, "Hey, you're a muff diver. Get the fuck out of here." Like no one did any of that. No one said any of that. You know why? Because they didn't give a shit. Obviously, you did a good job, or you're, grazing by, just in that little area to stay under the radar. That you haven't got fired, but I mean, like I don't know. I think people just get too extra about it. I mean, so I get what you're saying. Like I'm tired of it too. Kind of like these Netflix shows that really push.
Oh my god!
They always gotta have like a gay kids in there. And they always gotta have a kissing scene. It's like, dude, I get it, dude. I get it. It's cool. It's fine. But why in every fucking thing?
Yeah, and that's not even that. Like, gay guys being gay, fine. But like now they have like straight guys that are like, well, I don't know. I think I'm gay now. Like I was watching. Like, have you ever seen The Magicians? It's this TV show on Netflix.
No.
About magic and shit. Like, there's literally a scene where all four of them are in like an orgy and shit. Where like gay guy, like the guy is straight with a straight girl, and now he's like banging the chick, but he's also banging his best friend, and now he's decided to be gay now. Like, I'm like, dude, being gay is not that fucking common. Like, this shit is just so fucking crazy. We're like what the fuck, man? Like, where it really feels like I'm watching a porno. We're like, I don't even like when it's like when it's even like a straight relationship, when it's a guy and a girl. Like when I'm watching a horror movie, like I was trying to watch a horror movie the other day, and it was just a couple making out like every other second. I'm just like, all right, dude, like, is this monster gonna come out and kill these people already, or like, am I just like, what is this? Is this a romance movie or is this a horror film?
The monster's waiting for the dick to go in the ass first, and then he's gonna come out, and then he's gonna go rawr, and get shit out of him.
Like, it is just fucking so annoying, dude, nowadays. Like, you have to, like, trying to adopt all these, like, gender pronouns and shit. Like every other fucking year, it feels like I have to, like, add some new shit to my,
Wasn't there a movie that just came out, and it was pretty much like a bromance, but it was a legit, gay movie. Like, it was about this dude who... So think of like a 90s Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks movie. Okay, but instead of like Meg Ryan, it's Murphy Ryan and Tom Hanks. It's pretty much the same. So they took the same concept and they just made it into, nowadays, and that movie flopped. And then what did they do? Because that movie flopped, they blamed all the fucking straight white guys. Or not white guys, but just all the straight guys out there. Because the movie flopped.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, it's because it's a stupid fucking premise.
Yeah. Like, it's like when they do, like when they did Ghostbusters, like the female version of it, right? And it did poorly.
Sucked.
Yeah.
Fucking sucked.
Or when they did Oceans, but with all women. I'm like, dude.
Also,
like,
sucked.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, man? Like what the fuck?
And I like Sandra Bullock. I love her in Speed. I love her in Miss Congeniality, but you know what? That movie sucked. Demolition Man, Jesus Christ, but that movie fucking sucked.
I just think it's like, I don't know, man. Look, like this idea, this premise, this fucking propaganda about women needing to do this kind of shit because women have been so underrepresented in films. It's fucking bullshit. Like, do you remember Ripley? All right, get away from her, you bitch.
Barbarella. Barbarella.
Right. It's like,
you know, I mean, it goes back as that far too.
Yeah. People do not have a problem with women being the main role. They've been the main role since like since movies existed. Like, it's just now you're inserting it in this very political way where it's like, hey guys, did you notice? Yeah. Did you notice how women were stronger and better and smarter than the men? Did you guys notice? It's like, yes, dude. It was hard not to notice because you kept mentioning it and bringing it up. Just have a strong female lead, and that's all you need. You don't need to point it out. You don't need to say it. When Ripley gets into that mech, and the alien queen comes up, and she's trying to go after Newt and shit, the little girl Newt.
Yeah.
And then she goes, get away from her, bitch, and he smacks her. That's all I needed. I didn't need her to have a tattoo of a feminist fucking symbol. I didn't need her to talk about the misogyny and fucking how life is so hard for women. Like, you don't need to do any of that shit, man. Like, it's just so fucking crazy to me, man. How.
To be fair, they could have had Ripley make out with Velasquez, the one other chick that was in the movie. Yeah, they could have had that at least, but you know, that's just me.
Sure, she could have like just gotten a strap on.
That's just me adding my straight opinion into it.
Fucking shit, man. I wish I could.
By the way, that movie with the two guys with that bromance movie, it's called Bros.
Oh, it's literally called Bros.
It's literally called Bros, and it's.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
This is where, it's like I don't mind if this shit's out in the world. I don't give a shit. But I'm a big movie fan, big movie buff. I mean, that's why I love watching his movies. So when you start bringing it into my movie world, I mean, I'm not gonna say it makes me upset, but just like that, I just let a loud sigh. And my wife, she laughs. She's like, "You're homophobic," and she just messes with me. But it's like,
it's
not even that.
It's not even the homophobia. Like now when there's movies like I watched, like if it's a Mexican movie, right, and the lead character is a Mexican and he's like shooting shit up and shit.
Yeah.
And now it's like whenever there's gonna be I'm waiting for the main character to be Mexican, and he's gonna call himself Latinx or some shit. And I'm just gonna gonna be there with my popcorn, eating my popcorn, going like, man, this guy's a badass Mexican lead. Like, this is pretty cool. I'm watching him fucking do some crazy shit, maybe sniping some people, maybe it's an action movie. And then he's like, yeah, they got this agent. This guy is unstoppable. We gotta stop him. Yeah, but what is he? He's Latinx. And I'm just like, oh god. And I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm just gonna pause it, sit there and go, do I finish this fucking movie or do I just okay, I can't. And
throw your popcorn at it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Latinx, like what the fuck, man? Like first it was fucking like, dude, Hispanic and Latino wasn't even a thing. People just call themselves Mexican or Guatemalan or whatever. And then there's like so many, like I think we're the only group of people, everybody else included, right? Everybody else is from a Spanish speaking country, where it's like mestizo, Latino, Latinx, Hispanic.
My company does Indian.
That. What?
My company does that. They ask you how would you like to be addressed, or what group would you prefer to be in, or what do you call yourselves, like, and they have that the Latina X thing, all that going on, and they even have a month fucking dedicated to it, to where the Latinx is honored.
It's just like,
so I'm honored for like a month, and you know what they give me?
What do they give you?
They give me sombreros. They give you the whole poncho. They
give
you fucking.
That's more racist than anything.
Yeah. Thank you.
They give you
Yes.
tacos, Taco Fridays. You get. We had a taco cart. Taco dude actually come in last year, but goddamn, dude, those fucking tacos were fire. He was making them right then and there in the skillet.
It's like I would eat them too, but I'm with Roger. Like, it's just like Roger said. Like, dude, that's just more fucking racist. Like, just call me Danny.
It's hilarious.
Dude. Just call me fucking Danny.
Yep.
Just call me Danny, and we're all from the U.S. It's fine. Like, I'm Mexican, I get it.
Like we're all Americans because technically it's all North America, South America. Like we're all Americans.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, like what the fuck, man? Like,
It
it just comes
makes
out.
no sense.
It's just so cringe, dude. It's just so fucking cringy. Where I'm just like I get the white guilt, man. I get it. It's like it's all right, man. I don't fault you for it. Just can we just move on? Can we just please fucking move on? Can we just go back to calling like I can't even say the F word. It's the F word now. If I want to say FAG, you can't say that anymore. You can't say
Oh, yeah, my
cigarette.
bad.
You can't say cigarette. British cigarette anymore. You know what? To me, it always just meant like just catch the fucking ball. Like, like if I threw
Yeah.
the ball to you, Alex, and you didn't catch it, I'd be like, oh, what a like,
Yeah.
what a cigarette. Oh my god! It doesn't mean I hate gay people, dude. Like, what the
No.
fuck, man?
No, not at all. I don't get it because like my brother-in-law, he's gay. Don't care. Don't. I love the guy. I love him. No hate or anything. Like you know what I mean. So it's people can say what they want. It doesn't matter. But it's like when I say that, it's not coming from a place of hate.
Yeah, I just like honestly, I laugh now just because it's so preposterous to me, dude. Like, it's just it's become so goofy. You know what I mean? Where I do not know because I always think ahead, right? I always plan ahead. I always try to use like foresight and try to discern like, okay, where is this going exactly? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
will there be like 100 different names for fucking people from Spanish speaking countries? Like, and it's other people too. Like black people have it too, right? Afro American, Negro American. Like there was all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And as far as like how to call a black person whatever until we decided to just leave it at African American or whatever. Well, some people, you talk to some comedians and be like, I'm a stolen African. Let's just call it what it is. but like I just don't know where this is going, Alex. Like where does it end? Is always what I'm thinking. I'm like, what is the end goal here? What is the end game? What purpose does this shit serve? Like what the fuck,
None.
man? It's
No,
just
no.
because you know what I think, like, and I've heard from Asian people too, and people from India. Like, if you look at someone from India, right, someone who's Indian, they would classify that group of people as far as Asian. But
Asians, yeah.
But if you look at Asians, and then if you look at people from the Middle East, right, based on location and geography, it's like Indian people are more related to Middle Eastern people than they are Asian. But they fall under Asian. And then there's this weird thing with like if you're Asian from like the Philippines or like if you're like Hawaiian or Polynesian, it's like you're a Pacific Islander. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's still just Asian. I'm like, what the? And then there's also the talk with like Native Americans, right? Because they're like, well, it's Native Americans, and I'm like, well, there's some Mexicans that are Native American. I'm like, no, we're all indigenous, you know. And then they're like,
Yep.
well, the Bering Strait, right? Mongolians, people from Mongolia, they came over here and they became Native Americans. I'm like, so I guess you could call Mexicans and all indigenous people part of the Asian family. Like, it just gets to this weird fucking place where everything has to be like in a category. And then it's like, well, Europe, I'm European. Well, what is European? It's like, well, we're white and there's Caucasian. And what does that mean? It's from the Caucasus Mountains. And like, well, aren't Russians kind of white also? Or it's just, but they're not part of Europe, but they're white. It's like, oh my God. It gives me a fucking headache, dude. It really like hurts my fucking brain to no end.
I give it like another 30 years, and I don't think it's gonna even matter. I think it's gonna end up like a lot of our features are just gonna combine.
You think so? I mean,
Like, have you seen like the South Park thing where it's like we all just look the same?
Everybody's on a lowrider.
The Goobacks.
I just think like I don't know, man. It's just a lot of it's political. You know, like they
I
just
think
wanna,
so.
They just want to group people.
Dude, I think they're just trying to separate us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like that group's the problem, but it's like that's just my neighbor, dude. It's like, is he really that much different?
Right. Like a lot of people, like the big talking point is like if you're from England, like I think there was this one. It came out on the news programs that I watched where there was this black lady. She was like, I think like fourth or fifth, like deep generation, like English. She's black, but she's like fifth generation English person, right? As a black woman, and she was like at a meeting with there were some royals. There were some royals from their British aristocracy, and they were like asking her where she's from, and she's like, "Oh, I'm from Liverpool," or she mentioned like some location in England, right, where she lived, and then it was like this 30-minute conversation where it's like, "No, where are you from, really?" It's like from England in this area. It's like, no, but where are you from? Like, what is your background? And she was like really confused, and then finally she's like, "Oh, well, like like fucking a long time ago, my parents came from a certain island, like certain island. I don't know if it was Haiti or like somewhere, right? Where it was like where black people were from." And she's like, "Oh, there it is. Finally, I fucking got to the root of the fucking question. So you're black." It's like, well, yeah, no shit. Like you can't tell she's black just by looking at her. Like, but like gave her like such a hard time because she just wanted to know like, no, what are you really like? And that's a big thing, like where a lot of black people and just other people too, for like from Egypt or from India, where they're like we're never accepted as English. Like even though we've been here for like 5 generations. Same thing here in like America, right? If you're Asian, or like remember when they put the Japanese in a concentration camp? They put them on.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Even though like a lot of them were like here like fucking deep, like third generation, and they're like, dude, I have no fucking connection
No
to
way.
Japan. I don't even speak Japanese. My name's Bob, or like Robert. Go ahead, Roger.
Isn't that just like because of Pearl Harbor and because we were in war with Japan? They're like, yeah, now we can't trust anybody that looks Japanese. And I'm like, isn't that a little bit racist?
Yeah, it was because it was a lot of like paranoia where they were like, I think they treated it like Russians because for a while like Russians were infiltrating America, and it's
Yep.
kind of like one of those like they're sleeper soldiers and shit, right? They can activate them.
Yeah, and they were worried they were spies too and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but even like that's the thing is like no matter how many generations goes, like you could be like 13 generations in, and the problem is like if you're not white, right? If you're not a white American, like you're never an American. Like even though like me, like right, like I speak I speak English, but but I'm never gonna be looked at as an American, not a real one. There's just like no, you're Mexican. It's like you're Mexican slash.
Americans are looked at as Americans. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, like and then there's that, right? And it's like, well, you're not Native American. And then there's also that white dude that's like, I'm 2% Cherokee and 2% milk. There's that shit.
There's some skim in there. Don't mind it.
Milk.
Oh, it's like you guys ever heard of Sarah Rector? It's kind of the same topic. But you ever heard of Sarah Rector? I just learned about her.
No, what does she do?
On her Wikipedia, it says, well, they have her labeled as one of once known as the richest colored girl in the world, because she had a background in the Creek Indians in Oklahoma. So she had some relatives, and she got this land. I'm gonna skip all like the little details about it because I don't know too much about it. But pretty much, she was given this land by the white man. They said this land's worthless, or this you can have this land, and they kept their own land. They had the good land. Supposedly, this land was infertile. You can't do nothing with it until they struck oil. Then this little girl became so rich because it was her land that the whites tried to make her white. They tried to legally make it on her papers that she was white because she had so much money she couldn't be black.
Oh, it was one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is just saying it goes back that far to this was like around the 1920s.
Yeah, it's so it's so weird like that. Like when it comes to white people are very weird about that shit. Like anything positive, if you're brown, they're like, no, he's actually white. like I noticed they do that shit where like I forget think I remember there was like this MMA dude. Oh, now I remember like and granted, um, he was like really popular, but I think his mom was white and his dad was
Mhm.
Mexican. But everybody just saw him as Mexican because, like, you know, white people created the one drop rule, right? And they kind of go off of that a lot until you become like popular and like white enough. Because there were like these celebrities because he got really popular. Nate Diaz, who was this one MMA fighter, and
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
they try to say that he was white. They try to say that he was like completely ignoring the Mexican fact, and then just be like,
Fucking last name.
yeah, no shit. And then you're like, and then there's one like I forget who I think it was Paul. Was it Ryan or Paul Marr? Somebody was named Marr. Was it Bill Marr? I forget who the fuck it is, but one of these celebrity little fuck assholes, little fuck faces was like, man, I love Nate Diaz. He's just such a scrawny fucking scrapper. He's just like reminds you of this just scrawny white dude that'll just scrap and shit. Like he really tried to like I think Paul Mooney had a joke about that where he's like Tina Turner, they took her from us. They fucking took her from us. Where he's also like, Jesus was fucking black, white people get over it. And he's like, and so was Cleopatra. Cleopatra from fucking Egypt.
Yeah.
So like there, and the reason why he has a joke about that, why it's so funny, is because like, yes, that is historically true. Like white people always try to like, they try to claim like any success, or if you're just a little bit light skinned, they're like, no, he's actually white.
I just started turning my brother onto Paul Mooney,
I fucking
showing him some like old videos and shit like that. That guy's hilarious. He's
Dude,
got some
so
specials
underrated.
on iTunes.
Yes, yes. I've listened to all his specials. Like he's so underrated, dude. Paul Mooney is like he never got the respect that he deserved. A lot of it was because he was like unapologetically black. Like he would complain about Hollywood all the time. How like he's like, yeah, like I'm too black for Hollywood. They don't like how I'm just honest and shit.
You hear the interview? Was it not the interview? I think it was an interview that Ari Spears gave. He was talking about how he was trying to get Paul Mooney into Mad TV, and he was just hilarious.
He
Like
impersonated him.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was
Ari
funny as
Spears is
fuck.
really good at it, but he was just saying he's like I'm too black for these guys, you know.
All you motherfuckers stole my shit. All you motherfuckers.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, man. He wrote for Richard Pryor. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of Richard Pryor's material. That was actually Paul Mooney wrote that shit. But
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
yeah, man. Just labels, dude. Labels. That's what it's like. There's so many labels now. It's like at one point in my life, it was just, Danny, what are you? Oh, I'm Mexican. You know, my parents are Mexicans. They came over here. You know, became legal, and I was born in Chicago. So you know, I'm Chicagoan. But it was very simple, like explanation. Like I'm Mexican. My parents are Mexican, but I was born here in Chicago. Very simple, right? But now in the
Yeah.
future, it's like, well, I'm a furry, but I'm also trans, but I identify as non-binary, and I'm 2% Cherokee, and like, like how many fucking different labels are people gonna have? You know what I mean? Oh, and I'm also a libertarian, and my dick leans to the right.
That's one too many. Yeah, I get. It's funny because like labels, I think people put too much stock into to label themselves, label others. I get labeled all the fucking time. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't phase me because you know I used to really heavily identify myself as when I was growing up. Like I wanted to be known as a rocker, you know. So I dressed like in my denim vest and like a fucking, you know, like a 70s like fucking rock kid. And because that was what I idolized then, you know, white people shit. And I'm from the burbs. So, and then, you know, I wanted to be a metalhead. So I was trying to be known as a metalhead. And it's just, time went on. People, I would hear from other people, and they tell me too, some of them. They're like, yeah, you're just, you know, a goth guy. You know, you're a goth kid, or you're, you know, you're goth. And I'm like, I'm goth? I never saw that. Never understood that.
Yeah.
I didn't take it as an offense, but I also didn't see where they were coming from. And then it just kind of made sense to me. It's just like, all right, so it is true that, whatever people think about you or perceive about you, maybe it's more telling on themselves. Which really helped me to develop this, I don't give a fuck what you think kind of attitude. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy who goes to work. I provide for my little family here. I paint sometimes. Sometimes I play bass. Sometimes I, play video games. I smoke weed. I listen to heavy music, classical music, 1950s doo-wop music, rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of everywhere. I'm just me. I'm just Alex.
As long as you
at the end of the
country
day,
music.
Fucking John Denver. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy right there. So West Virginia, I love that song. So that's what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, people can call me what they like, think what they like about me, but fuck, man, I still go to sleep pretty sound. I don't care. It doesn't matter, I guess. In the end of the day, whatever they think of me or label me as, it's whatever.
I have a question for you. I'm curious to see what you think. Roger, you can chime in too. I want to see what both of you think. Because this is my personal favorite. What do you think about people like Rachel Dolezal? That was that crazy white chick who who pretended to be black. And by pretend, I mean not even like literally just like would like get a tan, would make her hair like look very like kinky. Like, just literally wrote that I am African American, lied about who her father was. Like,
how dare you? She identifies, first of all.
Dude. And then the Cash Me Outside girl. Like, if you look at, I think her rapper name is Bad Baby. If you look at the Cash Me Outside girl, who was on Dr. Phil, like, dude, she's trying to really go for the black look. Like, really, like, where she looks like a black girl. Where I'm like, what is there like a thing where like, because this only happens with white people. Like, there's always that white dude that like where I think they're so privileged. I think white people have been so privileged. I think they're bored. You know what I mean? I think because like being white,
they're bored
like,
of the vanilla flavor,
right? It's like plain vanilla. Where they're like, man, I don't have a struggle. Like it's cool to be black, right? It's cool to have a struggle. It's cool to be
bad.
What's that, Reg?
It's like it's cool to be bad, Like, outcast. I'm a bad person. I do bad stuff. I'm not just a vanilla.
I'm just not a boring white person.
Girl.
I listen to Eminem in the closet.
I like. Oh, Paul Mooney has a joke about that too, where he's like, I love it. He's like, all these white people didn't want us in our neighborhoods. Now you got a little N-word in your home. Listen to black music. I honestly think that's why I think that's why you're seeing a lot of like people who want to identify as like a furry, or they want to identify as like a cat. Or, yeah. Because like I think a lot of it's just people are bored, dude. Like it's not enough to say that I'm 2% Cherokee anymore, or I'm fucking, I don't know, or I'm a magician, or whatever it is that you're trying to do to get laid, or to seem just like an interesting person. Now you got to do some extreme shit, like, oh, I can top you. Oh yeah, you're a fucking furry. Well, I'm a fucking transmythical dragon. I identify as a dragon and shit. Fucking breathe fire. Now what?
I think when it all comes down to, the problem stems from the parents. They ain't beating ass enough. All right, that's just plain and simple. They are not beating ass enough.
Well, because I definitely get what you were saying, right? But that was like, that was that was like very, I'm not looking for the word, like low key or just like normal, regular. Because like you identifying with like a musical genre, right?
Right.
Like,
it's a natural phase.
Right.
A natural teenage phase that everyone goes through different ones.
Right. And it's like, and it's a cool thing to be into, right? It's like if you're really into it and you go into that for a profession, or even if that's how you identify. Like I remember like painting my nails black and shit, and like wearing certain like earrings, just really going for the rock look. And I remember like having like emo friends, and then
that shit, I got black nails on.
That shit didn't last. Fucking emo is the only thing that just did not last. But fucking now it's
Well,
like
they grew up into hipsters, so
yeah, well, yeah,
either.
they transitioned, but like it's just like that wasn't enough. I think like this,
Right.
like the newer generation were like, well, fuck, I don't want to do what these old people are doing. Let's just do some. Let's just out crazy.
Holy
them.
shit! What if that's it? What if that's the whole fucking thing and you just solved it? That's all it is. It's just each generation is trying to up crazy the next one.
You think so? I think a lot.
I mean, no one's gonna beat the '80s, though. I mean, that was the party decade. I don't know if we can beat
hair metal. The hair metal peeps.
hair metal, blow everywhere. Was that one guy George Young from or George Jug or whatever from that movie Blow that Johnny Depp was in?
Yeah, that was
remember that?
Movie. Good movie.
Fuck yeah, that was a good movie. Oh yeah.
That is.
He didn't do it.
Well, it's weird how because you're right, because like 80s was like blow, right? Cocaine was huge during the 80s, and then
it was a party
90s was more like beer, right? I feel like it was
90s.
Like
this is how I saw it. You want to hear how I see it? This is how I see it.
Yeah.
All right. So 19. Let's start at the. All right. No, let's start at 1800s. Okay.
Well, the 60s. The 60s was pot, right?
Like, all right. Well, if you want to start at 60s, let's start at 60s. 1960s was the decade that everyone started noticing all the fuckery in the government and was like, hey, we the people could actually build a utopia of love
Woodstock.
And unify and let's be together. And then 70s was like, hey, drugs are kind of illegal, they're stupid, they're bad. Look at the Partridge Family over here.
Like all like fucking acid and fucking hallucinogens.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like okay, we actually have these drugs. Like, dude,
yep.
What?
and then 80s comes, right? Because all that stuff's outlawed. 80s comes and
capitalism,
like, hey,
cocaine.
You took all that shit away from us. We're gonna rebel. How do So what do? They fucking party. They party their fucking asses off. For a whole decade, 1990s happens, all right? I'm born. And all of a sudden, all those partiers are 90s is the first 5 years, I'm going to say there's the hangover period. That's the hangover period. Everyone's all right, like coming down. And then from 95 to 2000, everyone's like, all right, mom, dad, you're still doing that? It's kind of stupid. Grunge is here now. Kurt Cobain is around.
Heroin.
Yeah, I think that was like the crack year, though. I feel like towards the end of the 90s. Like, dude, because they started, everybody's like, all right, I need something a little bit stronger. So everything just went to crack. So and it just all went downhill. It was like, yeah.
Roger brings up a good point because also crack comes in and it's like, you know what? I blew all my good money on really good blow in the 80s. And now all I can afford is crack. So crack is taking over here in the 90s, and then 2000s happens. And that's when we start getting the New World Order coming in and more laws, more rules. And then here we are. So, yeah, I get this generation for wanting to probably stand out. They might make their mark.
You think this generation is like the pill popping generation? I think I see that being very.
No, because that's been around, I think, since the Quaalude days. The 1950s stay-at-home moms and shit like that. Those were the original OG pill poppers.
Right now, I think it's just the fucking heroin pandemic. I mean, it seems like that's what everybody's doing, and everybody's just fucking fentanyl. You just fucking hear
fentanyl's the big one.
Everybody.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. It's a lot of heroin, a lot of meth. Breaking Bad.
Yeah, fentanyl, man. I think that's the number one right now, and that took away a lot of like great fucking musicians and shit like that. That bums me out.
I took ecstasy.
It's not even heroin that they put it on. Like they'll put it on anything. Like
anything, dude.
Grasses.
One of my favorite musicians, Tom Petty, he died from a fentanyl overdose. He was having like some back pain or something like that.
Is that what
and he asked
from?
one of his roadies. Yeah, he asked one of his roadies, "Hey, do you have something for like my back or something?" I think he was maybe expecting like a Vicodin or something like that. And the roadie gave him these pills, and he died from them because they had like a huge dose of fentanyl in it. So it was by mistake.
Damn, I did not know that, dude. But
yeah,
it was Tom Petty, right? Free falling, and I'm free.
Yeah,
free.
My guy.
Dude, I love that guy.
I was a big fan of his. So when I heard that, man, I was bummed about it. That really bummed me the fuck out because that was the guy that me and my dad used to bond over and shit. My dad took me to see him and shit. And then to know that he died from fentanyl and from how much too. I think it was over, like, you know, I think it was just a lot, like in that little pill that was supposed to be like a pain reliever.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, bought off the counter kind of, you know, like it wasn't like from a pharmacy. It was like homemade. So
Have you seen
whoever
like
that
the
guy,
documentaries online? Like
no,
how like it's just China just pretty much just shipping this shit like synthetically over here, like
really?
and it's like yeah, dude, it's like China's the one that's making all this fentanyl, but I think it's on purpose. Like let's just fucking send all this stuff
Oh,
to America. They're gonna all be all fucked up, and then we're just gonna come in and then just buy everything out.
yep.
Do you,
I didn't know that.
do you think there's like a really big drug that's gonna take over and sweep the nation that just hasn't been discovered yet? Like, do you remember salvia? I remember I used to work at
Yeah.
Frank's Nursery. I used to work at this plant nursery place called Frank's Nursery and Crafts, and we used to sell the plant. We used to sell salvia, but that was before you saw like YouTube videos of Miley Cyrus getting high on this shit. Like nobody
Huh.
knew that you could just like dry the. I think it was you dry the leaves and you smoke the leaves, right? Sage, and it gets
Yeah.
you high as fuck.
Yeah, I smoked it before growing up.
What's it like, dude?
I didn't have any crazy experience, but I guess because I didn't smoke enough of it. But my friends who
You have
smoked
to get
it,
like the extract. Like, dude, I've heard like there's
Yeah.
like 20 extract, 40 extract, like 90
Yeah.
extract.
no, he's right. He's absolutely right. The shit I was smoking was like really low numbered extract. My dad, he said when he smoked it, he said he remembers crawling on the floor because he was watching TV and this guy was like outside and there was grass and shit like that. I don't know what the fuck my dad was watching. And he said he just remembers crawling on the floor because he thought he wanted to be in the grass. Something like that. He thought he was like flowing through the grass or some shit. I was looking at my dad crazy. And then my two friends that were doing it, they said they would have just crazy trips, just like seeing balloons, bubbles in different colors just floating around. One of them said he saw the other one, our other friend, turn into a popsicle, and he was melting in front of him. And I'm like, that sounds like some crazy acid, shit. So I never got that experience. When I smoked it, I felt like I was just smoking sage, and it fucking hurt my lungs, and I pussed out. So I didn't keep going.
So let me ask you something, because everybody has a favorite. Out of all the drugs you've done, Alex, what's your favorite?
Weed.
Weed. Roger, what's your favorite?
Big mushrooms. I mean, I've had a lot of good experience with them. I mean, even though I've had a few bad ones. Like, I think I only had one bad one, and that was like second time I did it. But I think that's just because I ate way too much, and I just fucking went down that rabbit hole.
What's the
What
most?
was it?
What's the most grams you've ever taken for mushrooms?
Oh.
After a while, dude, I started getting like the chocolate bars, so it's like I mean, I think a whole bar is like 3.5, and then like I've eaten like a bar and a half one time. But I was having the time of life when I took those.
Holy shit, a bar and a half.
I think the most I ever did for mushrooms, because people don't know this. People who don't know much about shrooms don't realize that a 3.5 is way different than a 5 is way different than a 10. Like when people are like, "Oh, I thought I was gonna see aliens. I didn't see shit. I'm like, yeah, dude. If you want to see aliens, you gotta take like 12 grams. I think
Oh wow.
I forget who fucking said it that like if you take like it's a common thing where if you take a high dosage of mushrooms, you see mechanical elves. I forget who fucking said
I've
it.
heard that.
Yeah, so like the most I ever got with mushrooms was I think I took a high dose and I was staring. I remember I was in the shower because for some reason I always love being in the shower or laying in my bed and looking at my ceiling. I could like move shit, dude. Like not that it was actually moving, but like I would look at the tiles because in the shower everything's like tile squares, right?
Yeah, I remember.
It was moving around like a Rubik's cube. And I just remember going like, holy shit, like the shapes were moving in like different orders. And then I remember when I'd finish my shower and I would dry off and I was still high, I would lay in my bed and look at the ceiling. And the ceiling started warping. And like everything felt like it was breathing, like it was alive. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool as fuck.
I miss shrooms. I haven't done shrooms in a while. since learning more about them and stuff like that, I want to take them again, but I want to take them and I want to have like my paint stuff ready so I can paint out what I see and stuff like that. That I always found was fun. I did that on acid. I made a painting when I was tripping, and that was, I don't know, it was fun. I thought it was really cool just watching the brush hit the canvas, and then the paint you see it just spread, and it's just so fucking. It's pretty much like dripping. It's funny. It's like, you know, what you would see in a cartoon or a movie.
Like
It was literally melting into the canvas and shit, and that was just more fun doing that. But I think 3.5 is it was the best acid I've ever had in my life. It was.
I don't know. I only did acid one time, and it was like a bad trip because no one ever told me. The dealer just gave it to me. You know, so then I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna I got it for my regular roommate wanted it, so I got it for him. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna grab it for myself. I was like, whatever. He leaves, and then I go with my girlfriend, and like I put it in my tongue and then just swallow it. So I was just like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. And then my guy's like, no, dude, you're supposed to hold it in your tongue to like get the effect. So I was like, well, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like, I'm just like, I don't know, maybe because I swallowed it. Dude, I was just like nauseous and like I just wasn't having a good trip. So it's like I want to do acid again just to see if like it's actually different, or if it was just a bad trip the first time. But like, I feel like that's one of the things. That's the only thing I don't like about shrooms, because once you do it, there's a period where like you just feel sick, and it's like you just got to try to get over that hump and not throw it up.
Yeah, for me, that sickness starts pretty much early, like very first, half hour of it, I would say, is like when I feel like kind of sick. And then after that, I feel fine. So luckily, like afterwards, I feel pretty good. With that acid trip, though, that was like probably the best experience, though, because the environment I was in and everything like that, the people I was with.
The thing is, like, like two things for me. Like, I can never do shrooms, like when I'm around other people. Like I like doing shrooms, but like by myself, you know what I mean? Like, cause I get all fucking weird, dude, around people. And I'm just like, and then I'm
made
just
that
like,
mistake. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. The only other thing that I would do shrooms would be like with like a girlfriend, because I've heard from other people, like other friends, like, dude, if you've ever done shrooms and fucked with your girlfriend, dude, it's amazing. I'm like, I'm sure it is, but I've never had that experience. But for the most part, I like doing it alone, right? Yeah. And not to pull a Joe Rogan, but before I die, I would like to do DMT. But I've heard like crazy shit. Like that's, to me, that's the mother of all mother loads, of all drugs. It's DMT. That is like the final. That's the shit that like your brain releases when you're dying and shit. It's like,
yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, like I've known people that have done it and their experiences, and like where literally it feels like, whether it's actually happening, or just it's all in your head, like where you're like, no, I communicated with other entities. That's like a very common thing that I've heard.
I was tripping on shrooms before we played a show over here, and this is about like probably like 3 or 4 years ago now. And I remember sitting by around the table, and there was like all my friends and stuff like that by me and my wife, and the whole time I felt like they were kind of purposely avoiding to make eye contact with me. And while like I'm kind of like nervously calculating or trying to figure out what to do about the whole situation in my head, I remember distinctly Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses playing in the background, and we're outside in the beer garden, and I'm watching these lights bounce in the same frequency of Axl Rose's voice singing and shit like that, and I'm watching it travel all around the fucking bar outside, and I'm just breathing really heavy, taking deep breaths. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, when is this going to fucking end? Like, I fucking had like the worst time. And then like before I went on stage to play, I went to take a piss, and I'm like, why does my pants feel warm? Oh my God,
Oh
I'm
no.
pissing myself. I'm pissing my fucking self. What am I doing? I'm looking down at my dick, and I mean, the piss is hitting the urinal, but why are they warm? Why do they feel wet and warm? I fucking like finish up, wash my hands, run outside in the back where we're loading in our stuff, our equipment, and my wife's back there, and I'm like, babe, grab my dick. She's like, what? I'm like, babe, grab my dick. And she's like, what? I'm like, is it wet? Did I piss myself? And she's like, no. As she's feeling me around, like in the back of the fucking bar, she's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, okay. I grab my fucking shit, bring it inside. I have one of our friends like pretty much tune everything for me, plug it in, the whole setup because I'm just like fucking blasted. And when the music and then when the music starts, the lights hit, I had the best fucking time of my life.
Yeah, it's like hard to find that Goldilocks zone, that middle ground, right? Where it's like, okay, this is
Yeah.
good. This is right here. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to stay.
Yep.
But yeah, but it's I love shrooms, dude. I love mushrooms. You can definitely
Yeah.
have a bad trip, but when it's
And
good,
that,
it's fucking good.
yeah. And I blame that because and I don't blame the shrooms. It was totally my fault. It's because I didn't have weed and I was nervous. It was a big show for us. Um, so I was, I was nervous. I'm like, I don't have weed. Oh, I have an eighth of shrooms. I'll just put a little bit on some peanut butter and bread and eat it. I might as well put the whole thing because what if it's not enough? And I think it's the shrooms I fucking got from you, Dan.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Oh, you know what? Funny enough, it's like full circle. I got that for Roger. So the shoes that I got from Roger are the ones that I gave to you.
Dude, you
Dude.
got those from me, dude. Those, like half those ones that I used to get, those were fucking poison, dude. Like I
Holy
remember take,
shit.
cause I remember taking those. I was scared after a while. I was like, I don't know.
That was
It
from
was only
the one girl, right? The one chick you used to get it from.
No, it was from my boss's friend, like grew 'em.
That's crazy. Well, that is funny.
I like them.
Well, I had the time of my life when I was on stage. That was it. Other than that, I think if I was to do shrooms again, it's like I said, it's going to be when I'm home.
Did you hear? I think it was Colorado. Might be the
Legalize
first.
them.
Yeah, it might be the first
Yep.
state to actually legalize it. I
I
don't
thought
know.
they have it already legalized. I thought they sell shrooms already there, or is it medically?
I think it's
I'm gonna look it up.
like under
I don't know why
certain.
I'm asking.
I think wasn't the difference that they were wanting to do it like weed instead of for medical purposes, where now it was going to be recreational. I think I could be wrong, but
I'm looking it up on DuckDuckGo.
I'll never forget that one of the things that I always remember is before I started doing shrooms like regularly, like Roger, it was actually Roger who told me where because we were smoking weed too, and I remember thinking how weird it was because Roger's like, dude, is like the thing is when you're high, when you're on shrooms,
Yeah.
you could smoke so much and it doesn't even get you high. Like past a certain point, like you're not even getting high anymore. Like you can smoke like a
Hmm.
chimney. And I remember just being like confused. Like I'm like, what do you mean, Roger? Like I didn't get it. And
Yeah.
then, and then I took shrooms, and then I would smoke weed, and then I'd be like, oh my god, I fucking get it. Because I would just smoke and smoke and smoke and do bong hits. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm not getting high. And I remember Roger gave like the perfect explanation. He was like, dude, because shrooms is such a higher level that it's like weed doesn't do anything at that point because it's like you're way higher than
Smoking
weed
a
could ever get
cigarette
you.
or
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. No, I never tried smoking weed while I was tripping. So
It's like pointless, really. It doesn't do
okay,
anything.
well, good. Well, no, I'm really glad to know that because then I'm not gonna fucking waste any bud
I
if I
mean,
trip again.
you could. It'll still feel nice. It'll feel cool, but it's not like. I mean, it's you're way higher on shrooms. Like the weed
Yeah,
is
right.
like it's like
And by
Roger.
and
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's like Roger's explanation was spot on. It's like smoking a cigarette. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing it, but it doesn't do shit. What did you
Yeah,
find?
it's like having beers and shit like that, pounding beers and shit, and then having a cigarette for that buzz. It's like that. You're not gonna get that buzz. I don't at least, anyways.
Yeah.
From what I found, by 2024, residents 21 and over will have access to supervised psychedelic treatment at licensed facilities known as healing centers
Oh
in
fuck that, man! I
Colorado.
can't do it while you're watching. I need to just.
I think Seattle's the one that actually, or Washington was the first one to legalize it, and then
They are
Colorado,
decriminalizing it, so
It should be decriminalized.
Colorado, and Washington already decriminalized it. But I think Washington like sells it.
I'm
California
looking up right
too,
now.
though, right? I think California.
Not there yet. Washington's a lot more fucking liberal than them.
They're still trying to fight the fucking bums over there.
That's fucking crazy, man. That Skid Row thing, like Jesus fucking Christ. Do you guys need any more proof that shit is way too expensive? And people are like,
No, I don't. It's more. Yeah, I think it's more of a mental health issue.
but why? Is it the warm weather though too? That's also attracting because it's
It's like if you think about it, if you're homeless, where would you go? That's like,
yeah,
you
nice,
know.
nice, warm and sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
That's where I'd go.
tell you what, man, those schooly people, those people that build tiny homes with school buses and U-Hauls and box trucks,
Yeah,
they had the right idea. Before they went homeless, they're like, how do I make it so that I just don't go homeless? Yeah.
for like 22 grand, you can have a nice one, a decent one for if you're by yourself or something.
Shit, dude, I've seen where they bought like a crappy U-Haul or box truck for $4,000,
Yeah,
and then they invested I think like $6,000. You know, they bought like a little mini fridge and everything, and they had a mobile home. Like they converted a box truck with the total was $10,000, and it was like badass, like a badass apartment. Not to mention, I mean, think about how much money you're saving, even if you're working like part time and shit. You know, not including like fucking full time where you're just like ranking in money. Like you're not paying for rent. You know, you're paying for
yeah. Hooking up for water if you get it. You got solar power, for electricity.
yeah.
Yeah, you can save plenty of money just working at fucking McDonald's. Park at McDonald's and work there.
Yeah, like a lot of them park at like Walmart because I think Walmart is one of those companies. There's a few of them where they let you park if you're like a truck driver, if you're driving a
Yeah.
semi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
So a lot of them will let you do that. It's kind of cool of them.
So I found something here, and it's like it contradicts what it says. It's on the same page. It's like basically, are magic mushrooms legal in Washington? It says no, psychedelic mushrooms are illegal in Washington. But if you look at underneath, it says what states decriminalize magic mushrooms. Pretty much, Oakland, California, Santa Cruz, California, Seattle, Washington. You just said Washington wasn't. This is why I can't believe anybody anymore. This is why I have trust issues.
Goddamn internet strikes again. I hope it becomes like weed, where they decriminalize it. It's still one of those things that can get you locked up in jail for a lot of years if you get caught with that shit.
Wild. Fucking wild.
Mushrooms. They never hurt anybody.
Nature. Lock you up for it.
Make Mother Nature fucking illegal, boys. Make that shit illegal.
That's why she's revolting right now. That's why she's doing the bomb cyclone. That's why there's volcanoes erupting. Fucking crazy floods going on. Mother Nature's retaliating against us fellas.
Shit.
Next, Godzilla.
Was it the Philippines or like I think a little while ago I heard like one of those island countries is flooded right now? Was it the Philippines? Yeah, you know what? I think it was the Philippines.
I will look it up right now.
Due to climate change. Could you please look that up? Because I'm a fucking idiot. I barely do any research.
Like 5 years, probably won't be around either, just like Cali.
Yeah,
There's the flooding.
For real though. Like that is actual like not even joking. There's countries, island countries that are like, yeah, we're not even gonna exist as a nation because fucking sea level rising.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make some sky cities, just like in those video games where you make little islands float in the sky, like Sonic. That's gonna have to be a real thing. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but maybe they can make like a big ass blimp I hear blimps are making a comeback because they're using like helium that isn't flammable.
Helium that's not flammable.
Well, I mean, because helium is not flammable in general, period. But I think they used something else, right? When there was that horrific accident, I don't think they were using helium. Let me see what they were using.
Oh, the Hindenburg.
Yeah, what? Let me see. What gas? What gas did the Hemingberg use? Let's see. The Hemingberg was a huge ship, larger than 4 Goodyear blimps combined, longer than 3 Boeing's 747s or
Oh,
747s.
Boeing's.
Yeah, its steel frame was covered by canvas-like material within the frame. Tell me what it was made of, bitch. Oh, contains a lighter than air called. Oh yeah, no shit, it lit on fire. Hydrogen, you fucking idiots. You should have used helium.
Oh.
That's why it fucking. Because helium is non-combustible, dude. It's not. It's not flammable. It's it'll give you the same results. So I think that's what they're using now. Is helium makes your voice sound like this?
They fucking use hydrogen.
Yeah, what a bunch of dummies, right?
Holy
It's like
shit!
incredibly like you'll. That's the reason why they've had.
And they think the Third Reich will rise again. You dummies! You dummies!
Oh, look, it says right here in the bottom. It says, "Why did they use hydrogen instead of helium on the Heisenberg?" U.S. law prevented the Heisenberg from using helium instead of hydrogen, which is flammable. After the crash of the blah blah blah, in which most of the crew died in the subsequent fire rather than the impact itself, Heisenberg designer Hugo Eckensner sought to use helium, a non-flammable lifting gas. Yeah, no shit. You should have went to helium to begin with. What the fuck? I would love to be there at that meeting. It's like, listen, you see, hydrogen is cheaper, all right? And we got a shitload of it, okay? Fuck this helium thing. We'll be fine. Just don't light a cigarette, Johnny.
Meanwhile, click.
What was that, boss? I'm fucking smoking his Cuban cigar.
Johnny, you're fired.
They're saying legitimately, like there's a lot of those crews like it's making a comeback where like they look very luxurious. Like they can actually make like swimming pools and shit.
Yeah, I saw that they were trying to make one like all solar powered.
Dude, that would be dope, man. If you could actually live there.
Mm-hmm. Very inexpensive.
They live on boats. People live on boats right now. So what's the difference? It's like, hey, let me just live in the sky.
You would live on the sky? You would fucking do that. You would live in the sky.
Honestly, believe it or not, I think it sounds way safer than living in the ocean, like in the middle of it somewhere.
Nope.
Unless I'm docked. Unless I'm docked, that is better. If I'm just docked somewhere.
Nope. The big nope for me. I ain't fucking falling out of the sky like remember in fucking Avengers?
Just bring a
Remember
parachute.
that aircraft carrier? Parachute. What if I'm a deep sleeper. I slept through a fucking earthquake before.
Sleep with a parachute.
I mean, you do know that more planes make it than boats across the country.
I don't trust boats either, though. That's the thing. I really don't trust boats either. I fuck cruises. I won't do it. I'm going to go underground. I will be like that one guy who bought like ass loads of fucking was it shipping containers or school buses, and he like buried them like
yeah, but if
so
it's
deep.
flood, you're gonna have to do that in the mountain somewhere.
Oh, damn it!
How do you get
I
it
guess
up
there's
there?
just no survival. I guess I got to use a fucking. I got to use a plane or something.
There's I think Colorado is above sea level, right? It's like really high. Mexico City, I think, is another one. There's certain places around the world. But what if it becomes that bad, dude? What if it's like Waterworld, where landmass is just very rare, and it's obviously only rich people are going to be the ones that they're going to steal all that good land. And then what if the rest of us have to live on like rafts, or we have to fucking like live in like we have to find a way to like maybe get one of those blimps. Damn, that's a movie right there. That's a pretty good movie. It's kind of like Elysium. I think it was Elysium, right? Where like all the poor people lived on Earth, and then
with Matt Damon.
Yeah, and then the rich people they had that outer space little spaceport and shit. I think
it's like that one movie. I thought, was it called Gattaca? Didn't you tell me about that one?
Yes. We're all the like
kind of like that too.
Yeah. Dude, it's honestly, it's not even science fiction anymore. It is gonna happen. Like poor people are just gonna live in the shittiest of places, and or it might be like fuck, what's that other one called? Altered carbon, altered carbon. I think it's called, where like the rich just have these retardedly high skyscrapers, and they live in these enclosed little environments all the way at the sky, like at the top by like with clouds and shit. And
Yeah, where they save their like memories in case they die and then like
yeah,
live forever.
and if you go down to the bottom, like if you're at the like ground floor, it's all polluted. Like everyone's dying. There's like crime and shit, and like only the rich people live on like all the way in the top. Literally like sky gods, like the fucking elite and shit. That is going.
There's
to
a movie like that.
Oh, what's it called?
There's a movie with that kind of building in it. What is it? It's God damn it! It's with George Romero zombie movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, what's his name is in it? Dennis Hopper's in it. I gotta fucking look it up now because it's gonna bother the shit out of me. But yeah, all the wealthy people lived in this high tower building that was in the center, around all these like it was in an enclosure of all these poor people and stuff that were working for they would work and do all the minimal jobs and shit like that. But all the rich people had they had the malls, they had shopping and
Champagne,
and fancy dining and shit like that, and they were all safe in their tower until the zombies came in.
So zombies figured out a way to cross the water. I remember that.
Talked to each other.
I totally remember that. It was the black dude that was a gas station worker.
He led everybody. Yep. There, talk about a black lead in a movie.
Fucking
probably one of the best ones.
Romero, man, this makes some good ass movies. John Leguizamo was in that shit. I remember now.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a fucking asshole.
Shit.
Fuck, what was that called? Was it?
I know. I'm
John
fucking up right
Romero's
now.
Rise of the Dead, Zombie Rise.
It was something of it. Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead. I didn't even look it up yet, and it's Land of the Dead.
I think you're right. I believe you're right.
Yep.
Fucking zombies, dude.
Man.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that we're all fucked. I don't know. Like I if you go on YouTube, I'm starting to notice that there's like because it doesn't take that much money anymore. There's like if you make six figures and you get with like a couple other people to make six figures, what they're doing now is because it's becoming ridiculous, like very hard to buy a house, where they're buying up land and they're building these teeny home communities. Have you heard of that? Have you seen that, Alex?
No.
Roger? Well, they'll build these teeny home communities, and it's way cheaper than buying a house, right? And living in a regular community.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll still do it where like it might be a little far to get to the nearest Walmart, but it works enough so that you can pretty much like afford or just drive up and just hook your shit up like a trailer, but it's with your teeny home. And
nice.
And apparently they work, man, and they're nice. Sometimes I think about that shit where I'm like, man, that would be kind of cool. Like if I can get like a couple of my buddies, if I can buy some land or an island, and I can have my own little community and shit. But I'm sure it would be a lot of hard.
It sounds like a trailer park home, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, class. Instead of meth, we pass around shrooms. More like a commune. Fucking hippies.
As long as there's no cops around to harass me, I'm down.
So we have to police our own selves. So it's gonna be very corrupt. If I'm involved, it's gonna be corrupt. You guys don't want me involved.
I wonder if like this is because I don't know. Like I got my condo, and I don't know. I'm pretty happy in this bitch, man. Like I don't know if I think about it sometimes. I'm like shit. I'm like, what would it take for me to move out of this condo? Like it's mine. I know I own it, but I'm like, the only thing that I can think about is like if I move to Mexico, get like just do my job over there with my remote work once I get enough clients. And then just rent this bitch. Or I fucking, for some reason, I don't think it would happen, but let's just say I find a girl that, I like enough and she's cool. I get married and oh shit, we got a kid now. Obviously then I would have to buy a house, but I really do wonder like how that would work. Really.
What if, so you own your condo. I remember that, but the building that it's in, who owns that building?
It's just more like like I don't know if it's like the land, but there is like a building manager. There's like a company that like manages a building, and then there's like the homeowners association,
Okay.
which I
Okay.
am a part of. Like I go to their stupid ass meetings where we complain about shit, you know. But yeah, there is like a number of like the repair guy that I call for like,
Yeah.
hey, there's roaches. Can you send in a fucking exterminator, shit like that.
Yeah, because I wonder if like I mean, what if one day were like, yeah, we sold your guys's, we sold this land. Whatever they do with you guys is, up to them now. And then those guys, they come in, they're like, all right, you guys got to get out of here by a certain date because we're going to demolish all these fucking buildings.
Well, yeah, I mean there are
They
real
sell the
cases.
land. I think they're under in contract, aren't you, Danny? Like you're in contract with the landowners. So it's like if they sell the land, the new owners would still have to be in contract, or they would have to pay compensation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it actually did happen where like the previous one, she moved to Europe or some shit. So these
Okay.
new guys took over. But I'll give you an example though of like kind of what you're talking about as a scenario.
Yeah.
There is a real scenario where like from across from me it used to be a golf course, but now they completely demolished that land and they're building really nice houses. So sometimes
Okay.
me and my mom we talk about it where I'm like, because my mom lives downstairs, right? But I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what if these assholes are like, hey, you guys are kind of in the way? Because even the government could come in and be like, let's just say they wouldn't,
Yeah.
right? They would never build a highway by there, but let's just say for whatever reason they're like, hey, your condos, this apartment complex is in the way. This is the government speaking. We need you guys to. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna pay you top dollar. But yeah, we're gonna demolish this shit and we're gonna build a highway or a mall or whatever the fuck or a hospital. That is real. That does
Difference
happen.
is between I think the only difference is the law has like a right to, and they don't even give a shit to get like do the highway. But like an investment group, they can't really force you on like to get out. But the government, they're like, yeah, we need it, and that's done and over with.
Yeah, yeah. It's like which, funny enough, historically, they've done that a lot to black people. Like black people will like get together, they'll start a nice community, and then coincidentally, the government will come in and be like, "Oh yeah, it's we're building a highway here." It's like, really, motherfucker, really? And then they don't even give them like top dollar for the property for their troubles. They just be like, "Yeah, I think it's worth 5 grand. 5 grand. I paid 80 grand for this bitch. What the fuck?" But yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, obviously, it would never happen. Like my area is pretty secure; it's fine. But I don't know. I think about mortality now that I'm getting older. But I'm always like, am I gonna die in this bitch? Like, is this where I'm gonna die in this fucking condo? This fucking chair? I don't know. Like where are you at right now, Alex? Are you renting that house? I think it was the last time, right? When I talked to you?
No, we own this side of it's a duplex, so it's like a big ranch style house, but like split in the middle, and we own our side. Um, yeah, I think about that too, but I don't think about like, am I gonna die in this house? I usually think about, am I gonna die in this fucking state? That's usually what I think about, and I don't know. We might want to move out of this state eventually sometime, but
I know for a while you said you might have you were thinking about going over to your brother where he lived in Wisconsin. See
yeah,
your brother's setup. That's kind of like my dream. Is like because he says he's out in the boonies, right? Where like the nearest
yeah,
Walmart is like 2 hours away or some shit.
yeah, right, right. And I like it too. It's a nice escape to get out of here, But looking at the pros and cons of like like seeing him live there and stuff, and the troubles they go through sometimes, like they had a big like remember when we had that blizzard supposedly a couple weeks back, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Well, that came from like where my brother was at, and they really got fucked up to where they had no power for I think like a couple days.
yeah. It
There's
hit them.
some
It hit them way harder, and like a lot of them were abandoning their vehicles, right, in the middle of the road and shit.
they over there in Wisconsin, a lot of their like a lot of his girlfriend's family came over because they live really out far in the sticks. So they had absolutely no power, no heat, no nothing. So they made their way over to where they were, and they had a fireplace, and that's pretty much how they kept warm all night. They stayed all together in the living room, had a fire. My brother bought a generator, I think, a couple days later. And yeah, man, he said it was just chaos. Walmart had lines all the way to the back of the store, to the front of the store, just because they had like only self checkout open and only like one or two registers open that had, they only took like credit card or only cash or some shit like that. I think it was only cash. So yeah, it was a whole mess up there. So I'm thinking about it. It's like, well, if I live up there, I've never dealt with anything like that before. I'm so used to everything being right here next to me. I live in between two 7-Elevens. I'm right in the middle with a Jewel Osco. I have a Walgreens on the corner. I have like everything I need within arm's reach. I kind of don't want to give that up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's even crazy that nowadays, even everything's just even getting shipped nowadays. Like, they didn't even got to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine like to get anything, it's going to take you a few days.
So right, and so my brother. So example, if me and my wife order something on Amazon, there's options where we can get it the same day. My brother, you ain't getting that shit same day. They don't even have that option. I think they laugh at you if you even try to select it, because it's just you're not going to get anything, man, like that. It's very hard to get shit out there like that. And you think about too just how the weather, just how much of nature you really have to fight out there. Like, they don't put salt on their roads, on their big main highway road that cuts, that takes you to every town. They don't use salt, they use sand.
what?
And that's even if they go out there and plow.
Really?
My brother says. Yeah. He said a lot of times he's like during that winter storm, he said there were no plows out. There was nobody out.
It's like the shit I take for granted because I live here in Chi-Town.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like stuff like that. And then you got internet service, very shoddy. I mean, he has it. We play online games together and stuff like that. But my brother, like, sometimes there's a lot of times where he's always got to call them, and they always got to, do that whole, oh, we sent the signal to you. You should be having internet in a half hour. Some kind of shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a trade-off. Yeah, you get that peace and quiet. Yeah, you have that, you're away from all the noise and stuff like that. You can live a simple life and stuff like that. But I mean, it's pretty much like constant, nonstop working and maintenance on your house, maintenance on, your cars. Because it gets, double digits below zero. They were just double digits yesterday. I think they were like 12 or negative 12 or 10 degrees yesterday during the day. So, you got to make sure your shit, your car or whatever you have runs good. Your snowmobile, whatever the fuck you use to get out there.
Damn. Remember?
They had.
Oh, good.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, they're in that blizzard. Within like a few hours, they had like 4 feet of snow. Like, it went up to their fucking kneecaps, and shit.
Yeah, man.
So you gotta fight that shit,
dude. Remember when Texas went through their winter storm, and all the pipes exploded and shit because they weren't used to like having anything winterized? That shit was fucking like sad. People died, dude. Like,
yeah,
a lot of those older people like who didn't have any fucking like any way to heat the house. They died.
all those 4x4s, they didn't know how to use them.
They were snowed in too. They couldn't even like open their fucking door and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, did they get that much snow? Really? I thought they only got like a little blanket. I thought everyone was laughing at them because of that. They got like this little like frost on the lawn.
No, I think they might have got it because it's also the ice. I think too, right? Doesn't that?
Yeah, that was mainly what it was. It was the ice that was like fucking them up.
That's so fucking crazy to me. It snowed in fucking Texas, but I mean that shit happened in Mexico too, where my mom is from.
Yeah.
It does snow sometimes. It's rare, but it does happen, and when it happens, like people are never prepared. They're like, shit, it's fucking cold.
You said this a long time ago, and I think I'm starting to believe you're right. That like the Midwest states and stuff like that, like Illinois at least, is going to be like the new California kind of thing, where it's prime real estate. We're kind of, I mean, really, what do we get the worst out here? We get tornado scares every once in a while. We get a blizzard every so often, and even that's taken care of in a few days. Really, what do we fucking go through here?
Yeah, because there's certain places in the world that you do not want to be in, or just
in the States, yeah.
Yeah,
you
in
don't
the
want to be
States,
anywhere.
like Florida's fucked. Like Florida is not.
I wouldn't want to go there.
New York, anything on the East Coast is fucked.
Nope.
West Coast is fucked.
Definitely.
Tornado valleys, right, where it's like, what is it? New Mexico, there's a shitload of fucking tornadoes over by there. It's just tornado valleys. There's a lot of that, and then we got also. Well, you know what? The Yellowstone volcano doesn't matter because that'll kill everything, all of us.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, you can't really get away from that.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes I look on Google Maps and I look at Illinois, like south of Illinois, dude. There's still like a lot of land like open that had like, up for grabs. I'm like, man, might be kind of cool to like live down there. Yeah, but just like you said, like I'm like, man, but like, what if I get sick and the nearest hospital is like 8 hours away? You know?
Yeah, man.
It is kind of tricky. So yeah, it is like you said, it's a give and take. Like, yeah, you get the peace of tranquility, but you're kind of fucked if shit happens. Unless you got everything already worked out, like a generator, and then you grow your own food and shit. But who the fuck wants to do all that? Are you really going to? Am I really going to set up solar panels, a generator, a geodesic dome growing fucking zucchini? Am I really going to do all that? Have a fireplace, chop some wood.
And it's one thing just to get all that, then you get it started, but then maintaining it and constantly maintaining it. And there's no sick days, because if there's a sick day or a sick week, or who's harvesting the food, or who's cleaning off the panels, who's replacing parts that need to be replaced. It's a whole fucking thing for sure. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. Of course, lots of people fucking do it, and a lot of people live off the land, just like that too. And that shit's cool to me. But fuck, man, I really like having a Walgreens right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Get my Arizona, my papers. I'm out.
My smoking peppers.
My smoking papers, huh?
The Elements. Those were my favorites. They were delicious.
There's this. They have those owls. They're called swirls. Yeah, the white owls. They're called swirl, and they're like different. Like, so they have like this passion fruit one, and it's cool because like the wrapper is like it's brown, then a dark brown, and just twist. Very flavorful, very good. My brother got me into those. So I recommend those.
I like I think they were the ones I used to get were the Swisher Sweets. I think.
Mm-hmm.
They had like champagne flavored and shit. The problem with me, like, I think I would have to roll it. I was if there's one thing I could roll a joint like a motherfucker. I could do it while driving. Not that you should. I could do it blindfolded. But if there's one thing that I could never roll, I could never do it successfully, is blunts. I sucked at rolling blunts. I was not good at it at all.
And I'm opposite.
I can't the other way around.
Yep.
You guys are better at rolling
I can't roll joints for shit.
Nope, not by hand.
I can roll a blunt like nothing, but like the joint, like I don't know. I always just ended up tearing them for some reason.
Yeah. I that paper is just too thin for me. If I roll a joint now, it's always with my cigarette roller machine. It's just the only way I do it. It's fast, easy, and no bullshit. Because I can't do that shit just freehand. My buddy can. I was watching him do it, yesterday, and he was rolling up 2 joints, like bam, 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 and I'm like, damn, they're like perfectly fucking made, perfectly like.
One of my guys is doing it with just one hand. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That dude was too bored. That's awesome though.
I just remember being in a circle and like everybody would be looking at me, ready, like waiting for me to finish rolling the blunt.
Yeah,
and I'd be like slobbering all over it, trying to fucking. And then
I hate that.
And then like one guy would just look at me and be like, he would just bust out a new one and be like, "I'll do it."
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like if I roll a blunt, I don't like doing it in front of people because I like. Yeah, I mean, like you gotta stick your tongue out. You gotta fucking lick it. Yeah, you gotta make out with it. And it's like fuck. I hate. Yeah, I can't watch under that pressure, man. I'll tear. Can't do it.
Have you guys heard of that? The new show coming out, the 90s or whatever.
The 90s show.
Like yeah, like
no.
You're going around in the circle right now. Like, dude, that's just the first thing that came to my head right now.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. But blunts, yeah, I could roll it, just no problem. That I've done plenty of times.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. I definitely see myself going over to Mexico, but I mean, it's such nice weather. I wouldn't really be dealing with anything winter wise. It would just be pretty much just like power outages due to thunderstorms. But
You
even
got to
that,
deal with the cartel though. I mean, you've heard about all that shit going on right now, right? With like El Chapo's son or something getting arrested, and like there was a big fight between his cartel and the police that raided him, and like a lot of people died.
like
Did
in
you hear about that?
Sinaloa, like on the east side, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
The
Like it
thing
just
is, like I saw like a clip. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I did not click on it though. I did see a clip where like it said Sinaloa cartel. Because the thing
yeah,
is like the good thing is about where I'm at is like the Sinaloa. It is literally it's there. You know, it's the Sinaloa on the east side.
yeah.
Juarez, Chihuahua is dangerous too, because that's like a segment that used to be part of the Sinaloa cartel, but now there's like Juarez cartels versus a segment of them who broke off from that
Mm-hmm.
branch. So a lot of it is like in very certain areas. So the place where I'm from, it is out in the boonies, right? It is out in the pueblos, but it's in Durango where it's always been like a neutral territory. Not that it's neutral, like they're not wanting it, right? But the thing is about Durango is it's always been like the Sinaloa cartel wants it, but they got Zetas there too. And then there's this other group. Like I always, for the longest time, I always remembered like there's different groups. They all want it because it's in the middle, so none of them can agree on like they end up killing each other, and then they're like, and no one ever wins. So then they end up just being like, all right, let's just this is just neutral territory. I see you. We don't fuck with each other. We just drive on by. So what ends up happening is like, yeah, they're there, but not really. You know what I mean? Like there's nowhere. It's only like an issue when they're like, no, like this is ours. We completely took over this bitch. Like you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it too has to do with like wealth. Cause like if there's one thing about Durango that I know of, and it's very low key. I don't even tell my like I have white friends, right? I never
Uh,
talk about it because the last thing I want is for white people to be like, "Oh, it's a safe place." I'm like, "No, do not come down here. Get the fuck out of here." but like,
do they have a
there's
Tesla plug station?
well, it's like they have like a McDonald's right in Durango, and it's like if you know people, because I know I'm related to like the governor of like Durango, so there's like politicians and shit where like there's wealth that comes from America, where we have like dual citizenship. So I think
Okay.
what's kept Durango safe is the fact that there are so many wealthy Mexicans that the cartels are afraid of the United States. Like they're not dumb, right? So they're like, fuck. They've noticed. I've like talked to some of them, right? Where like I might have grown up with them, and haven't seen them, and then the next year I go to Mexico and I'm like, oh, this guy joined the cartel. So I'll talk to him and he'll give me like the real lowdown, and he'll just be like, well, you know what keeps it safe is like in civilized is a lot of you guys are wealthy Americans and you're Mexicans and you're bringing wealth down here, so there's a lot of opportunity. So like that kind of deters it because like we can't really control you guys, but we can control like a poorer place in Mexico where like Sinaloa, like they completely
Right.
took over and it's rich now, it's wealthy, but guess what? Those hotels, it's owned by the cartel. That little
Yeah.
like clothing store, it's owned by the cartel. Whereas over here in Durango, it's owned by like everyday people like you and me, Alex, you and me, Roger,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
cartel cannot control us. You know what I mean? Because we'll just fucking be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go back
Yeah,
to the
but
states.
yeah, but see, even that's like, what's to stop them from one day being like, you know what, that truce is over or whatever. I guess that could be like said about any place, anywhere. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like they can't though,
yeah,
because there's too many cartels. Like there's like it's not just
right.
a Sinaloa. Like they would all start because they end up fighting again. Like it's happened like a few times now where like I'll give you an example. Like the Sinaloa cartel, they were shooting at the Zetas. They was coming in from the
Mm-hmm.
south because there's pretty much the Sinaloa was coming in from the east. Because remember, Durango's in the middle, so the
Okay.
Sinaloa was coming in from the west to the center of Durango, and then the Zetas they were from the south coming in through the middle. And so I would just see them, right? I would just see on the news, and I would even see their trucks, so I knew which ones were which. And then like we would see how they would kill each other and shoot each other, and sometimes there'd be like innocent civilians in between, right, getting caught up in it.
Yeah.
But it would end up happening where like finally like, all right, are we gonna come to a truce or what the fuck? Like we're not like no one's winning here. So they would be like, okay, well here, this is my territory, this is your side, and we'll just whatever. But it ends up being so that they just go back home. Like the Sinaloa goes back home, the Zetas go back home, and then for a while it's quiet again. Oh, and then don't forget, and then the Mexican military gets involved because like I said, enough of us complain, wealthy Mexicans, because we have power too. So then the Mexican government goes, all right, send the fucking army. So then the army comes in, dude, and then we're like paying them off too, because that's another element is like I've been caught smoking before. Like, dude, are you supposed to be smoking weed, Danny? I'm like, no. I'm like, he's like, all right, 200 pesos, and this goes away. I'll look the other way. I'm like, all right, so I'll give him 200 pesos. This is the army, homie, doing this to me. So, but the difference is like, some of them I'm sure are in the cartels. Maybe they're like double agents,
Yeah,
but for the most
double
part,
agents. Yeah,
they're battling against the cartels. I've seen them go after them, right? So
yeah,
when the army comes in there, that's when the Sinaloa goes, oh shit, bad enough. We're already fighting the Zetas. Now we got these guys coming in there. So what happens? The Zetas go back home, and so do the Sinaloa, and then it starts all over again. They wait, right? The Mexican army's like, all right, looks like things are good now. We're gonna go back to Mexico City. So they go back, and then it starts all over again. But in some ways, that's what keeps it kind of like neutral. Is I'm like they're not able to fully enforce their domination, their thug rule, because they can never set up shop there. They can never like really plant their paws into everything. So that's kind of like it's complicated, but that's pretty much
yeah.
what ends up happening. So for me, it's like I know enough people, and even some of them who are in the cartel, I know them. Like we've known each other since we were kids, so they're not
Yeah.
gonna fuck with me. And it's not like they fuck with people. Really, it's more or less like if you get like cocky, if you get disrespectful. Like imagine being like an American and you go down there and you just start talking shit, and you just didn't know that they were in a cartel. That's when problems come up. That's when like you get like people like lose their heads and shit, literally. Where they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you want to talk shit to me?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Okay, here, let's go outside." And then like they'll take you for a ride and shit. And even then, most of the time, they just end up beating the fuck out of you. Like they'll just give you a beating, and
Yeah.
because even like amongst cartels, they have to get permission. So I'll give you an example. Like I literally know a guy. Like this guy is a member of my family. His dad was like a high-ranking dude in the Zetas. Like he was part of that cartel group.
Yeah.
So there was this other guy from the Sinaloa. What ended up happening is my boy, my friend, my relative, he got introduced by like we have local people like cousins that stay there. They live there. He's like, hey, let me introduce you to Juana, right? Like some random girl, right? From there, a native, and she's really pretty, right? So the guy from America, my cousin, hooks up with this girl, and they're making out. He's fucking the shit out of her, right? They're having a good time. It's a big deal. It's like, oh, he's from America. He's an American. He's probably got money. It's like it's easy to pick up a chick, right? And he's a good looking guy. So he told me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I was fucking this girl, and then one day we're eating at a restaurant, right? And all of a sudden, and this is a federale. He was a federale, but he was a member of the cartel. He was one of those situations where he was working for the cartel, but he was working as a federale, as a cop. So she starts crying, dude. He's describing this to me. He's like, bro, she started crying. And I'm like, why did she start crying? He's like, I didn't know at the time, but apparently that was her ex-boyfriend who she just broke up with. So he comes in there and he like catches them with my cousin. He's like, oh, you think you're hot shit, huh? You're just going to sit here and fucking and dump me for this fucking American, this fucking white boy? Even though you're Mexican, that's what they refer to you, right? Just as
Right.
just to diss you. And then
Yeah.
she starts crying, and then like kind of starts eyeing my cousin, going like, "What the fuck are you looking at? Like mind your own business."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and my cousin,
Very.
being the American that he is, right? He just does what he would do at a bar, right? Here with like an other American,
Shit.
right? So he goes up to him, he's just like, "Look, dude," and in Spanish, he's like, "It's like mira way," right? But the thing is, like, you can't really say way. You can say way to your friends. To them, it is like saying dude, but it could be taken as like also saying like asshole. Not to mention
Right.
if you're porking his ex-girlfriend and he feels a certain way, that probably wasn't the way that you should have talked to them.
Yeah.
So immediately he's like, way? Really? Okay. So he kind of just like nods his head, and then out of nowhere, boom, he punches him, dude. He fucking punches him, grabs him by the collar, starts punching him again. My cousin just reacts like how anybody would react. Like me, I would probably deck him back. But at back of my head, I'd be like, man, this guy's got a gun and he's a federale, and I'm not like I'm from here, but I'm not from here. But he does probably the smarter thing. Like he pushes him off. He manages to get away. He pushes him off, storms out of the restaurant, and it's so funny. I started laughing, but I was like, it wasn't funny, but I just imagined him in a kitchen coop. So he runs away. He hops the fucking fence, like because over there in Mexico they have like brick fences where you can't see. It's like really high. He found this one like corral. They call him corral, where he's like he found a house, and it was literally just like he didn't know these people. He just jumped the fucking brick fencing, and he just hid there. Like he lost the guy. He managed to lose him, and he just didn't. He could hear him like walking around, like screaming, like trying to like find where he's at. So he just stayed there, and he's like, dude, I must have waited there for like 30 minutes before I got the balls to like peek my head out and see what's up. He's like, I found the group I was with, and like I came back to our hometown where our parents are from, and that's where his dad had already found out everything. So like the group, the girl and everybody, they explained to the dad. The dad was from a rival cartel. So he pulls up in his truck. He sees his face all bloodied, right? And all like purple and shit. He's like, I already know everything. I already know everything that happened. Get in the truck. He's like, okay. He's like, get in the truck right now. And so this is how it goes. This is some insider knowledge. So you just beat the fuck out of the son of a high-ranking cartel guy who's your rival cartel. So you can't go killing people. You have to ask permission, believe it or not. So he calls his higher-ups, people even higher than him, and then they get in touch with the guy that beat up his son, and then they talk to his higher-ups, and his higher-ups told the dad, you have our permission to squash it, right? Because it's like, we're not going to go to war over some stupid little beef. So believe it or not, you know, there's a reason why it's organized crime, because that's what it's organized. So they call him back and they tell his higher ups, tell him that he has our permission to beat the fuck out of him. And the guy that beat up your son, he's already been told that you're just going to allow yourself to get beat because you crossed the line. So he goes over there, finds a guy. They go in this building, right? They go in a building that's owned by them. They go in the basement. And then like they're talking about it at first. They're like, so why did you think it was okay to beat up my son? He's like, well, he just, you know, he was fucking my girl and he got disrespectful with me. He called me way and he was talking shit. And he's like, yeah, but he's not from here. He doesn't really understand the dialect or you know, the undertones. He didn't mean to disrespect you. And he's like, yeah, well, you taught him wrong. And as soon as he said that, dude, you taught him wrong, he fucking decked him. He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he went down. Yeah. Dude, he started kicking the shit out of him. He probably broke a few of his ribs, dude, from the beating that my cousin's describing. He beat the shit out of this dude, and he couldn't fight back. Like, those are the rules, right?
Yeah.
So he beat the shit out of him, and then he looks at my cousin, and he's like, you wanna get a few licks in? And he's like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm just like, that's good.
Right?
So, like, the whole time, I'm like, so did you see this dude afterwards? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm glad I didn't hit him, because, like, you know, like a month later, you know, my dad kind of lost his ranking because he was doing a shitty job. They demoted him. It's just like a job, just like working for a company.
Anymore.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm glad I didn't hit him because, like, you know, who knows? He's still a cop there. So that's more or less what happens. Like, you're not gonna get like shot right off the bat unless you shoot at them and do something stupid. The worst thing that'll happen to you is you'll get your ass beat.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, they tell them, they're like, don't go after tourists because remember that's their customer. That's their their money. So
interesting.
Yeah. So
yeah, I had to pull up a fucking map so I could see what you were talking about actually.
Yeah, you see how like the Sinaloa is on the east side, and then and then the Zetas are on the south of and Durango.
Yeah, and I see you. You're literally in the middle.
Literally right in the middle. They call it the heart of Mexico. And for the longest time, Alex, they've fought over that territory because it's literally on the way up, right? It's prime real estate. It's like the perfect area for it also has an airport, so there's like they've been fighting over that territory for like a long ass time.
Yeah, I have family. I think in that center somewhere. I don't know, not Durango, but I don't know. It could be for all I know. But I know I have family around there somewhere. So
Could be a little lower, maybe Zacatecas, like lower, a little higher, maybe.
I'm trying to remember, man. But I seriously can't think of it.
Yeah, honestly, like we just need one state. Like for a lot of people who are like Americanized, like me, who want to go back to Mexico to live there, the safest place is Merida. This is place in the Yucatan.
Mhm.
That is the safest place because that has a permanent army. Like the Mexican army is permanently stationed there because there's a lot of white people that also live there who
In the
retire.
Yucatan?
Yep.
Really?
Well, it's specifically in that area. It's like saying Illinois, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
So it's Merida, Yucatan. The Yucatan is the state. Merida is the city.
Got it.
I think Merida is like Mary in English translation, something like that.
Yeah, it's like literally right there at the end of it.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
the
I
beach.
see it's on the tip.
Yeah.
Like right next to Cuba.
Yep. It's fucking beautiful, dude. You can get like what you would pay like 300, 500,000 here. Over there, you can get a badass place for like 80 grand. A badass house by the beach, homie. That's my
That's
fucking
wild.
dream. That's the goal. But yeah, fucking yeah, man. Cartels be cray cray.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much like that keeps my brother from wanting to go out visit, or go to one of those tourist areas because he's seen so many of those cartel videos that he just thinks that's once you cross over, anybody you talk to, you say something or whatever, or I think he thinks like if you just like look at him wrong, they're gonna do that shit to you automatically off the bat. And I don't know, like from the way you described it, it seems like they pretty much don't really care about you.
No,
Unless you're talking crazy, like you said, unless you're really trying to cause, some tension there, something like that.
Not
It
only
seems
that,
pretty much
you got to stay in the reservations too, though. Like, should you go out there,
yeah.
have to, like, know somebody, like Danny said.
Yeah, it's like Roger's got the right idea. It's like a lot of what I tell, like, because a lot of it is like white people, right? White people always ask me because if you're Mexican and you're used to coming down there, you have family down there, you kind of get the gist. But if you're white or maybe you're from like Asia and you want to like they'll ask me and I'll be like, look, I'm like, you had to have really gone out of your way to like really be in the fucked up. You had to have like not used common sense and like Roger said, stay in the reservation. Don't go fucking wandering around going like, no, I want to see the real Mexico. I want to go to a little taco stand. No, you don't, bitch. Just stay in the fucking hotel. Go in the fucking chlorine. Go by the beach. There's touristy areas. Obviously, if you go by like let's say you go to one of those really touristy areas, like you want to look at the pyramids of Mexico.
Yeah.
There's no cartels there. That's just fucking all like there's like military there and their little Humvees and shit. So like that's what I always say. I'm like, what did you do? Like, did you go looking for like prostitutes and cocaine? I'm like, yeah, you're gonna find that shit, but just stay put. But if you're that person that's worried, the best place for you is Merida. If you go to Merida, Yucatan, you won't have to worry about any of that shit. Or Mexico City. Mexico City is another one, but you might get like robbed there. Like it's like New York. If you go to New York, you'll get robbed. You get your purse snatched. So it's kind of like that in Mexico City. There's definitely more police presence, but just don't leave your wallet laying around. Be smart.
Yeah, it's like the more population there is, more police, but the same more crime.
Yeah, it's more modernized too, right? Like there's more like Mexico City is modernized. The Yucatan, like if you go to like Merida, they have an Apple store. There's Amazon. Those are like, believe it or not, those are like good signs. Like it's a good sign if you see a McDonald's. It's like, oh shit, cool.
We're safe.
We're safe. If you see like Don Juan's, safer. Yeah. So yeah, you'll be alright. But yeah. So this is a good conversation. We're at the 2 hour and 29 minute mark. Do you guys want to go for another 30 or you guys want to wrap things up? It's up to you.
No, I'm going to wrap it up. I mean,
yeah, I'm good with wrapping it up.
Dave Chappelle, wrap it up, wrap it up.
Rap.
This is good.
That sketch. Oh man, I like when he's in bed with her and he's like going at it, and she's like, "Wrap it up."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And shit, it's like, come on, already. All right, cool beans. All right, well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of the Cool Beans podcast. Stay away from cartels. Don't go outside of the reservation.
Be kind. Be kind to everybody. If
Be
you're
kind to
going
people.
out of state, just be nice.
Don't fuck any cartel dude's ex-girlfriend. Just putting it out there. And,
If you study criminology and you happen to be by a crime scene, maybe rethink your major. Maybe.
And take shrooms and stay calm. Stay calm and eat shrooms. All right. Goodbye,
Message.
everybody. Have a good night.
Later.
Boy.
Laters.